gentlemen, welcome to the co-optional podcast. 100% less Krendor featured in the show.
100% less Krender. That
Indeed.
Is true.
I mean, it's a fact
now
for one thing.
Free with better ingredients.
I don't know about that, but we'll at least go with Krendor free.
Come on.
Special guest ProJared, also known as DM Jared. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. Nice to be here.
What do you do? For those who don't know, and didn't see you on. Hang on, you were on like 50 episodes ago, weren't you? A long time ago.
I was on the TGS podcast episode 50, where we all wore silly hats, and Krender was hosting. So now.
So you're on the first real podcast now. Okay.
Yes, I'm on a real one. It feels nice. What do I do? Obviously, I am on YouTube, and I make several video game videos. I review newer games. I review older games in a hilarious fashion. I'm also a part of Normal Boots, along with JonTron, Peanut Butter Gamer, the Continue Show guys, some other people you probably know.
Cool.
Excellent. Who are they?
It's, they'll get there someday. I was just trying to give them a bump.
It's nice of you to help out the little guys. It's nice of you to help out the little guys.
I don't know why my camera is so poor right now, and I apologize for that.
It's because of ad blocking. That's why.
You look like a cookie.
So many people have ad blocked that Jared can no longer afford a proper webcam. So he's hooked up 1998 Nokia 3310 with a Game Boy camera, and he's actually got a Game Boy printer there as well. And he's printing out each scene as it goes, and then transmitting it through the internet. And it's all because you guys ad blocked.
On dial-up.
I'm putting into just to get this to work.
Yeah.
I'm Time Warner Cable. Isn't that bad enough? Come on, guys. Nidhogs.
I was going to say, the merger is happening. They've increased their security as of late. You want to watch out. Oh, man. Welcome to the Co-optional Podcast. We do occasionally talk about video games. Coming up in the show, we will be talking about the games that we have been playing this week. And we'll be covering the news, what there is of it. As usual, very, very little. But I don't know what it's been about the last few months, but gaming's been fucking boring. At least on the news front. Right? What's been happening? Nothing's been bloody happening. We got the new consoles, and now everyone's like, so we do make some video games, but they're not ready yet.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. Like, I was trying to... People have asked me, what games are you excited for this year? And I immediately try to think of, what's coming within the next few months for, like, PlayStation 4 or Xbox One or whatever. I got nothing.
No,
No, same here. I don't have an answer.
No.
Like, I know, like, Watch Dogs is coming, but the more I see of that game, the more it's just not going to be great. Yeah, except the Wii U version got delayed. But even then, like, a lot of those games that I want to play, I'll probably just end up getting on PC.
Bayonetta 2. I'm interested in that. That's what I'm hyped for this year. Bayonetta 2. But it'll probably be 30 FPS and will suck. So I most likely won't be happy about that.
And I think Jared was going to say that he also believes that Watch Dogs looks like it's going to suck more and more that you see it. I agree.
Right? Thank you.
I agree. The more I see it, I'm like, this looks really unimpressive.
The less and less I'm convinced.
I think that it's just going to wind up being convincing without enough of a framework for you to want to keep playing.
Okay.
I don't know.
I remember seeing the big, like, grand scheme of things at E3 when they showed the different videos. And it's like, this is when you can make pistons and shit move and control cameras. And I was like, that seems really cool in a video, but playing the game, it's like a lot of busy work. And I imagine it becomes a lot of busy work and missions where you have to do certain things at a certain time in a certain way. And that sounds really boring.
I love that shit. Like,
I was going to say, it's like some StarCraft shit.
Well, it's not only, timings. It's not just that, though. It's like Dead Rising. And that's why I really fucking love it. Because Dead Rising 1 and 2, I love the timed aspect of it. And having to be at certain places at certain times. Being able to miss out on events and kind of lose part of the story. I thought that was awesome. So I would absolutely love if that were the case. I don't know. I'm not in a state where I'm in the anti-hype kind of circle jerk for it. Because really, I didn't buy into the initial hype in the first place. Like, it looked interesting, and then you think, oh, it's another Ubisoft open world game. They're usually okay, but not, like, mind-blowingly incredible. Yeah. So let's see what happens. Let's see if it ends up being any good. It'll probably be fine. I imagine it will be fun. It will probably not be Game of the Year. But
Yeah.
whatever.
What do you guys think of the Dragon Age 3? Because I don't think much of it right now. But
It can't be any worse than Dragon Age 2. I mean,
Right?
come on.
Like-
Dragon Age 2 was just abysmal.
I'm going to be a bit controversial, and I don't think Dragon Age 2 is as bad as everyone says it is.
All right.
It's still bad.
It's not
But
great.
Still bad.
Okay,
No,
defend
it's-
it. Here we
it's
go.
nowhere-
Let's go.
It's
Fight.
nowhere near
Let's
as
go.
good as the first one, but
Okay.
I actually kind of like some of the gameplay changes they did. Like combat was more enjoyable. Like just hitting stuff with my knives and flipping over them and whatnot. I felt good. I actually enjoyed that.
Yes, however, my counter-argument to that would be that becomes significantly less enjoyable when suddenly, out of nowhere, people jump from rooftops that don't exist and join the fight in the fucking middle of it every goddamn time. It's
Yes.
infuriating.
Yeah.
It's also very annoying because it stops it, especially on the harder difficulty levels, it makes it very difficult for you to manage your resources because you have no idea how many people are gonna fucking attack you because suddenly grappling hooks from nowhere. It's like, how the fuck did they get grappling hooks? What are they grappling on? It's like, oh
agree.
god.
That's. I mean, that's an.
I was doing the dragon fight where you fight the dragon or whatever. It's like on the hill. And
In the Dragon
flies down.
Age, no.
Well, and then the first time I was doing it, it was really hard. I was like, yeah, this is a good time. And then the dragon just stayed on top of the hill and didn't leave from there. I couldn't attack it. Yeah, I had to
But
reset.
here's the thing. I even had moments like that in original Dragon Age where like there was just really weird bugs in the fights. And I don't know. I someone in chat was saying that KOTOR was better. I will fully agree.
Well, yeah.
I like
fully-
the original Dragon Age Origins a lot more than KOTOR. I'm gonna be honest.
Really?
I did too.
Yeah. But I'm also
Okay.
a sick, twisted individual that thinks KOTOR 2 is the better game. So
Here's the thing. I like both of them, so I can't. I think KOTOR 1 and 2 are just fine. I want a remake of Jade Empire. Make it happen. HD remake. That game.
more punching,
Yeah.
more big
Yes.
sticks that you can hit people with.
Yeah.
Or
seen-
shoot 'em up bonus stages.
Sorry, Dodger, what was that?
Have we seen enough gameplay from this next Dragon Age to
No.
know like what the combat's going to be like? Because it seems like everything is like, look at these beautiful cinematics and like a little
I
bit of gameplay and then more
don't have
cinematics
a-
and
And
now the
Monica's
trailer's
in
over.
it though, but there are boobs and you can have sex with her again. Did you know that? Like it's like,
That is
oh,
super
great.
crazy. Remember, you can touch people's butts in this game. Didn't you
It's
remember
strange that you
They're
just mentioned that
dragons.
because they just released what is apparently a gameplay trailer and probably
Just
isn't.
now?
Shall we watch it? Shall we watch it
Yeah,
together?
yes,
Let's watch
watch
it
it.
together.
Yes.
Wait, we have
Okay.
to sync up though.
Yes, I'm going to give you the link so you can sync up here. We're going to
Okay.
watch it. We'll put it on in the background for the guys here.
Okay.
All right, so here it is. All right, are you ready? Load it
Hey,
up.
hold on.
Yep,
Okay,
load
I'm
it up.
ready.
Okay.
Loading.
3.
Loading.
Come on, Jesse. Pedal faster.
I know we're good. We're good. We're
Okay.
good. We're good.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay, let's watch this. It says gameplay trailer. Let's see how much actual gameplay there is.
Well, all right, I have a theory about this, but I'll
So far, none.
save it till afterwards.
Well, that guy's on fire. It looks nice. Well, not nice per se, but the level of detail is quite good.
Yeah.
He has a fancy hat. It's
Still no
impractical.
gameplay.
Yep. I'm definitely not noticing gameplay thus far. Let me guess, by gameplay they mean in-engine, don't they? Which is not the same fucking thing. He's the Borg. That's a very shiny sword texture he's got there. Oh, that looks like gameplay. Oh,
shit.
things are on fire. Okay.
There's some gameplay in here.
I don't see any user
hold on.
interface, so I
I'm
have
waiting
no
for it.
idea what's happening. Okay, the Borg are back.
Boom, there you go.
There's some
Look at that.
rolling. Oh, that
Roll
looks
around
like
in
Dark
heavy
Souls.
armor.
Run towards a cliff for no reason in impractical fashion, knowing you can't go any further. But it's dramatic.
Oh, swelling music. Swelling music.
We're building up to something right now, you guys.
There's dragons in the Dragon Age.
Barrick's back. That's cool.
Oh, yeah, he was the only memorable character in Dragon Age 2, so yeah, that's
I
good.
agree.
That's Scorpion. The Borg. More
Reverse
Borg.
Scorpion.
Unnecessarily winged helmet.
That man just sliced through armor.
Of course, it's Dragon Age. The whole
Dragon was
castle
pretty
fucking
sick,
fell
guys.
down after a small dragon landed on it, which means that the architect was clearly incompetent. And now we're around a table. Dragon Age Inquisition.
Cullen's there too.
All right.
You know what? I like the what would you call that? The Last Supper little thing they have there at the end.
Wait for
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Wait for it. actual game
October
footage.
7th.
Okay. Now,
Technically, yes.
I believe that yes, this is actual game footage. However, a lot of that was CG cutscenes within the game that they already made.
Yes.
It was not gameplay.
Also, can we point out something that I think is really, really funny? The things they did show gameplay-wise were things that were in Witcher 2 2 years ago. Like, I can roll, and I can block, and I can dodge. Like, no, like, yeah, that's good. I'm glad you're catching up to the rest of the gaming
Look how
world.
cool our spells look. Lightning, fire stuff.
And it was like 4 seconds.
Hands.
You kind of made the joke about it, Biscuit, but saying that, it looks very Dark Souls with the rolling and whatnot. And I actually really think they took a lot of influence from Dark Souls because just having that kind of mobility. Yeah.
Which does worry me a little bit because I am a big proponent of the original Dragon Age in the sense that it was very much like playing Baldur's Gate on Neverwinter Nights.
Yeah.
In some respect, like the pausing whenever you could. They even had the ability to program your damn characters with macros and things like that. And then Dragon Age 2 was like, let's make everything faster and let's make resource management kind of irrelevant. Let's do rolls and flippy stuff and
What I like is I think the potential that they showed there at the end with all the characters around the table is that you can have a giant, like, you can pick and choose who you want in this really big party, which I hope that's what they're going for. I hope they do it more Final Fantasy VI-ish, though, where they have every single character has a large backstory. So if you want to find out what their backstory is, it isn't like, oh yeah, no, my name's Phil and I'm a knight and I'm here to serve you, and that's literally all you get because there are 85 characters. Like, it'd be great if you found out everything you could. Like, that's what an RPG is. Give me a freaking story. That's why I'm here. And I like that there's a lot of option there. Hopefully that's what that means.
Combat-wise, sorry, Dodger, go ahead.
Oh, it's fine. I also just love games that give you replay value in the actual story. Where it's like, I want to play this game again because I want to see what I missed the first time. Yeah, and I think that that's been lazy lately in a lot of games. That hasn't been as much of a priority.
Yeah, the combat apparently will be slower than the second one. The tactical view is back. Admittedly,
have you guys not seen any gameplay footage yet?
No, not
there
real
are
stuff.
videos out there of them.
Evidently not that gameplay trailer, though.
Not that trailer. This is actually maybe a couple of months ago now, but they actually have shown gameplay of it. It actually does look really good. You can basically choose if you either have the Dragon Age 2 style combat or Dragon Age 1.
Okay, that works for me.
Yeah, basically any point in time you press like right bumper or something, and it does like the camera pull out. You're looking down, and you have like your circles around your characters. Everything's paused. You can choose where they go. They want to walk here, then cast a spell at this direction. Go fight this person, and then you can let it play out. Or while it's playing out, you can quick switch back down Dragon Age 2 style into whichever character you want to play as, and then kind of dynamically control
hammer
him.
abilities like World of Warcraft, basically.
Right.
Okay,
So,
yeah, I'll definitely
Why
do it.
haven't they
Dragon Age
showcased
stuff.
more of that then?
There is the big piece of
It was
gameplay
like
that I
the-
found was someone that basically filmed a presentation at a show, which is
Yeah.
like some pretty bad shaky cam footage of the pre-alpha, but it did show a bit of that, and it actually showed the UI, which looked quite a lot like Dragon Age, certainly, and the combat looks
maybe
tactical.
that was the one I watched. They also showed a lot of
Probably.
the open world stuff, and it was like very seamless and like no load screens or anything.
It was really Skyrim-esque. Like, even the UI, right, at least in the pre-alpha, looks very Skyrim, and the thing at the top, just kind of wandering around the open world, which I'm fine with. I honestly like the way that the original Dragon Age did it, where it was just, it's an overworld map with random events, and you go to these nicely designed areas. And I always prefer that over random open world stuff, because more often than not, open world means 90% of this content's fucking filler. And you're just kind of wandering around killing bears and shit.
Yeah.
Bears and rats in basements.
Indeed.
I'm just interested to see what they come up with. I think TB's right on the money. Like, it's really hard to go anywhere but up. So I want to know what they do in that, hopefully it's a much better game than the last one was. I don't know. I'm not that hyped about it.
I mean, it wouldn't be too hard. The last one, it's good that they are allowing the combat system to change back to what the original was. If they really just need more interesting areas and more interesting characters. Like, can you remember a single character out of the second one, with the exception of the dwarf dude whose name completely escapes me, that had the fucking crossbow?
His name was Varric.
The one girl,
yeah.
the one pirate girl they changed completely and made her
Isabella.
look like Yeah, made her sexier for no reason for the reason of making her sexier, obviously.
There was the woman who was like a guard, whose name I can't even remember who she was. I can't remember anything about Hawk because he just seemed like, well, she, whichever you prefer, just seemed like a kind of boring character. Whereas every single character in Dragon Age 1, I can remember who they were, what they were like, the conversations I had with them, the snarky shit, which gifts they liked, and their backstories and all things like that. And Dragon Age 2, none of that.
I remember Meryl from Dragon Age 2, but that's probably because I had sex with her.
Okay.
That's why.
Yeah, fair.
Here's the thing. Sorry, go for it. I was going to talk about sex. All right, no, good. Here's the thing. No, chat was like, Jesse just wants to bang all the different characters. I think Dragon Age, and Mass Effect for the most part, I think those sex scenes are stupid as balls. And more importantly, I don't like the mechanic of interacting with people, to get those sex scenes. I'm not a fan of that system.
Not a fan. Greasy, It's like, increase this bar until she wants to fuck you. For a company that claims to be so all about having the legitimate romance options, we're very open, we're very free and kind of liberal with things like that. They do a lousy job at realizing what that means, and it really is just a case of fatten this one up with gifts until it wants to bang you. I'm sorry, that's just bullshit.
But I believe Dragon Age Inquisition is doing away with any kind of love interest mechanic whatsoever.
I'm okay.
I'd be so okay with that.
Not, but I hope you're right.
I believe that's what's happening. I hope that's what's happening.
Dragon Age Inquisition to feature a new take on romance. I don't think
that's true.
New take.
It's probably so. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's good. A new take is better than what they've been doing because, and even then, when you end up I guess they tried to make it realistic, but when you end up with one character, but then you meet another character, like, God, if I could give her enough gifts, I bet I could bang her. Then your characters are like, why'd you bang her? And it's like, oh my God, you're not real. Stop giving me real life shit. I don't like it. And then you're like, all I did was give you gifts. I gave her gifts too. What'd you think was gonna happen? And it's just a pain in the ass. I don't want to manage relationships in a game like that. That's too much for me. Too much.
There was an ongoing joke for a while where BioWare, people were kind of making new taglines for BioWare. So it's like, BioWare, who will you have sex with? And I think
that's what it is.
That's pretty much true. Really, ever since Mass Effect 1, I feel like they've been obligated. They felt obligated that somewhere in their games that you have to have sex with someone or something.
Or you can.
And Mass Effect,
yes.
Mass Effect, I think, each game kept taking it to the next level of what are we gonna have? What can you have sex with now? And then finally they were like, let's make it a robot, right? Even though technically you're gonna, but still it was like
they just never went. They never went all the way. They never gave you a Hannah option. Just
right?
Saying. I don't know what I feel. Whatever.
I wanted the tenderness of an Elcor describing me his feelings.
That'd be hot.
You literally date Blasto.
I'm dating a movie star. So
that's probably Mass Effect 4, honestly. It's just got one giant Blasto dating simulator.
We wrote Mass Effect 4 for them. You're welcome.
Can't be any worse than the plot of Mass Effect 3. Anyway.
Yep.
Yes, Dragon Age. There you go.
I'm still looking forward to it. I'm not rock hard for it, but I'm looking forward to it.
You got a semi for it, though.
Yeah, about half-mast.
Cool. Flaccid. It's a little flaccid.
What?
Huh? What? What's next?
Sorry, I blacked out there. What happened?
I'm not 100% sure how we even talked about Dragon Age. How do we get here? Because
you're going to say, how did we even start talking about penises?
We were talking about games that are coming out. Speaking of games that are coming out, once again, I predicted the future, ladies and gentlemen. And
there we go.
Fatal Frame coming out on Wii U. I said it would happen.
It was gonna have to happen.
I said it was a good choice.
It's literally the only platform where you could do it properly.
Here's the thing. It'll save the Wii U because once it'll save the Wii U. Once the kids on the internet get a hold of it and they're like, "There's a scary game and I'm gonna put up my face. I'm gonna make face cam videos with it scary."
That's super hard.
You can't. 12 billion units sold. I'm telling you right
you can't.
now.
Right, okay, you can't do it because those people don't have the fucking production talent to pull that off. You realize the reason why
You got money now, TV. Money can buy
Okay,
you now.
okay. Some of them do, and I have no doubt that some of them. But like, it won't become a common thing. Like, if you think about the way that all the face cam guys do it, it's just on PC. Like, PC game, fraps, webcam, done. On Wii U, you've got 2 separate fucking display devices. One of which requires a capture card. The other one is now impossible to capture properly.
You don't know how it worked though. You could hold it up and then on the screen it appears like the big screen in front of you.
No, because that would defeat the entire point of the exercise. The way it'll work is
you
played a Fatal Frame game, right?
Peek and
But here's the thing. If you're seeing the scares on a little tiny screen, I feel like it'd be less scary on a tiny screen in front of you than on a big screen. I don't know. I don't know.
But it's a Fatal Frame game. The only way it's going to work is if you use the pad as the camera. That's the whole point.
Hold it up in front of you. Agreed. I agree with that. But I feel like it will be on here and on the screen in front of you.
Well, eventually it will. Like, if you get attacked by the ghost, eventually, yes, it will go after you. But still,
that's all people care about. Look, if people are willing to watch idiots in a giant mask playing whatchamacallit games, Oculus Rift games, like, I'm on a roller coaster, whoa!
But most people don't watch that. Like, because it's fucking terrible.
But it's not scary games. People love scary games.
People love the shrieking of idiots playing scary games.
$12 trillion business. Fact. Not making these numbers up. 12 trillion. Small country,
$70 billion.
A small American country is what it is.
What?
A small American
idiot.
country.
Oh god. I'll tell you something I'm excited about. Transistor. There's that.
Transistor. I can't. Oh, that and Child of Light. I think will be really good.
Child of Light's coming out very soon, isn't it? Isn't that next week?
Yes. Or the week after. Yeah.
That'll be all right.
Transistor, it looks cool. I can't wait to see what it actually full gameplay is like.
I'm gonna make sure Dodger gets to speak so that Jesse doesn't stay over again. I can just see the YouTube comments like, "Dodger never talks," and then everyone just talks over her so she can't.
Dodger, please continue. I'm sorry.
We're deliberately sabotaging
I was
gonna
change the game.
Dodger, shut up.
Fucking Dodger.
I thought nobody had anything to say about Transistor, so I was gonna be like,
guys, let Dodger talk.
Go.
Dodger.
So
go.
on the topic of scary games making $3 billion, a game that I'm looking forward to is a Morty game. It's
oh my god, that game sounds awesome. Guys,
yeah, it's
Jesse, shut the fuck up.
You suck so much. It's by one of my favorite artists. I have
How do you spell
so
it?
much of her stuff. OMORI game.
Oh.
And it's on Kickstarter right now, but it's all of the art is done by one of my favorite artists, Omocat. And it's a surreal horror exploration game. And the trailer is so weird. I was like, I'm in. I'm totally in. It's like super animu, but then has all of these like real picture elements and like crazy colors and a great song in the trailer. And I want it. So I'm really excited for that game.
Oh my god.
Is anyone?
I'm watching this right now, and all I have to say is this is the kind of game that you and other crazy cat women would fucking love. Like
so great. I want to know like what is, because the trailer doesn't really showcase what's going to be horror about it, so I can't wait for that. Aside from just the fact that the trailer is like super trippy. I don't want the game to just be trippy. I want it to be legitimately scary at some points. So I'm hoping for that.
Did anyone play Spirit Camera on 3DS?
Apparently it was fucking terrible.
Apparently it was really bad.
It's terrible. It's really fucking bad. But it was basically like, it was a Fatal Frame spin-off, more or less. But it was Fatal Frame with a 3DS. And people are like, oh, you could use a 3DS camera and you can look around your actual apartment or house or backyard or whatever. And then spooky things will come out. But it was just really, really bad. So when they announced Fatal Frame for the Wii U, that's kind of what my mind immediately went to. And that game wasn't good. So now I have a lot of reservations about Fatal Frame on Wii U.
I can't look away from this trailer right now. I want you to understand that. This is really weird.
Right? It's like super weird. It's going to be so great.
Oh my god.
I'm really jazzed.
Omori. Okay.
You're going to die alone. I want you to know that. This is the craziest
Yep,
shit.
I can absolutely
I've ever
see
seen.
exactly but why you would be into this.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
This is the game.
You don't necessarily want to
weird.
play it, but you realize exactly why I want to play it.
Indeed.
Well, now I've got to watch.
Yeah.
No,
Go watch-
I
go watch
would
the
recommend
trailer.
not.
Go watch the trailer.
Was there anything that you guys saw at PAX that has put something on the radar for you wanting to play this year?
I mean, we talked about them last podcast, but
But I wasn't there, so it's not relevant. Let's talk about them
let's
again.
see.
wasn't a real
Borderlands is
podcast.
Borderlands. Nothing really exciting there.
Ah,
Evolve is something that would be fun for about a day and a half. It's very Titanfall-y, like it's a gimmick. I don't know how long that would last. There's a lot like
You know what's great about Evolve is that nobody fucking knows the idea was stolen from Giant Citizen Kabuto. No one even remembers that was blatantly why.
even know what that is.
You need to play it. It was actually on the list of games, because you played Sacrifice with me. It was on the list
Yeah.
of like games on the level of Sacrifice Awesome, and it came out around that time. It was so
Interesting.
cool. It was...
Was it the same like 1v4 sort of idea?
It's kind of, yeah. But it had 3 sides at once in multiplayer. It was like 8 versus 3 versus 1 all at once.
Okay.
It was fucking bizarre. You played these tiny British spacemen that built a base and had jetpacks, or you played these bare-breasted sea creatures who also could build a
God.
base, but had various magical powers and were like
The most popular faction.
yeah,
Obviously.
3 times the height of the space guys. Or the Kabuto, which is a giant motherfucking creature that would eat stuff and get gradually bigger and grow powers and evolve different things. And you all had a different way of kind of building your base. As the Kabuto, you were the base. So you would wander around trying to eat up all the resources, which would allow you to grow larger. And it was this weird asymmetric 3-way combat game. And Evolve has got to have been inspired by that in some way. I cannot see that it not being the case. It's too close to the way that the Kabuto works in that game. But I would recommend to everybody that you play that game because it's incredible. Even the single player is really, really good.
Do they have it on like GOG or something?
They do, and it works fine. You can even still play the multiplayer. I tried it a few years back, and it still works. It's pretty great.
Kabuto looks great.
Yep. It's
The last-
really funny as well. Like, the writing is really, really good. Like, you save a race of people called the Smarties that are these giant, big-brained little gnome things that always say the dumbest shit, and all the little British spacemen seem to want to do is just settle down and have a nice cup of tea, but they end up having to go and fight through this thing. It's insane. It's really great.
oh wow, they really are bare-breasted. Those are
Yeah.
that's
I was
thought,
just looking at pictures.
I thought they were fish people, but they aren't fish people. That is a woman with boobies.
No, they're still kind of
God,
fish
it's
people.
human.
They're kind of naga.
Oh no, they're fish people. I like how on some of the images though they're covered up with like a bra. Like no, let your freak flag fly, game.
Game was
Show
amazing.
them boobies.
Freak flag fly.
Game was amazing. But I mean,
The entire chat room right now is just going boobies.
you might be right though with Evolve because like it's the way that I've seen with Evolve, it looks really cool. It looks like the kind of thing I'd be into because I love the idea of asymmetrical multiplayer. But it's like saying, oh well, we made versus mode from Left 4 Dead into its own game.
Exactly.
And it's like, but what about
Yeah.
the rest of Left 4 Dead? Because versus mode wasn't the only mode, even though I think it was the best one. And I think maybe it will burn out a little quicker as a result.
Yeah, I mean that's what we talked about last week too. Is we're not seeing any other modes. They're only showcasing one so far, and they've only talked about one so far. And the biggest difference really is that there are classes in this game. It's not just all of the humans are the same. They just look different. It's like there are different classes, so you can learn how to do different things. But it's hard to say how long that will be engaging or fun.
Exact, and that's what I said about Titanfall. Like, it's a great concept. I love everything about it, but I never felt it had the engagement time. Like, it didn't keep you locked into playing it, and it's pretty obvious that's the case because most people are like, "Well, I moved on from Titanfall now."
I played Titanfall's beta and I was pretty much done with it. Yeah.
Right? It was like
That was my
fun.
like I played
So
it. And
sad.
I had my fill. Yeah.
A lot of people were like that. I still dip into it from time to time. It's still pretty much as fun as it was.
Right.
I just don't feel like I'm getting any better at it. I think I hit where I'm gonna get, and I never really improved from there. And I also, since I've unlocked pretty much everything I want to unlock, it's really just down to I'll jump into a couple of maps. I'll play like 20 minutes of attrition, and then I'll just be kind of done for the day. I don't play it for hours at a time anymore.
It's not a game that you zone into.
No, it's not. You jump in, you play a couple of matches, and you leave. That's about it.
It's strange that Evolve is essentially, and TB will know this, like, it's basically the free games that you would, like, the custom games in StarCraft that people made.
Oh, yeah,
right?
That's where a lot of these ideas are coming from. I mean, there's a reason why there's now an entire genre of what started basically as Aeon of Strife.
There's and tower defense games and all this. Like it's really funny, and it's strange that a bunch of money and a bunch of time is putting into something that I don't know where it can go from. Like, it'll pull people in because it looks cool and it plays cool, and having played it, I was like, this is fun. But again, I don't know how many maps there are, and I don't know what changes there are, and I don't know how you can evolve the big monsters. Like, it seems like you can only evolve certain ways, and I feel like that's a detriment to the game.
You need to be able to evolve into different things, like have lots of different branches. I think that would make it so much more interesting.
Well, I mean, that's variety for everybody, isn't it? Not only the person playing it, but also the people who are playing against it, because it changes the entire way the game works.
Yeah, because you don't know what to expect. Yeah.
And it doesn't appear that that's the case at all. It appears that he just levels up. The more he eats, he just levels up, which is sad, because I think that there's an opportunity to have, like, maybe he has wings this time, and maybe he becomes like a ooze monster. Who knows what the hell it can become? The problem is because it then negates half the abilities the humans have, like certain things that can keep him caged in, so he has to fight, things like that. Well, if he can fly, it's, you can't ever hit him. Things like that, which is just, I don't know.
You just got to be more creative with the ways that you got to deal with it,
Yeah, and if you did evolve in different ways, it would be awesome if it was determined by what you did before that evolution happened, so that maybe you could create your own builds and everything like that and add that element to it. But I think you're right. I don't think they're going to go that deep.
Nope. Yeah.
We'll see.
But for the sequel...
Yes. Well, Left 4 Dead 2 is a significantly better game than the first one. There's no doubt about that. The stuff that they added in there made it a hell of a lot better.
Here's what you missed at PAX, TB. You missed those two games. Then you missed a large booth of what I think was a competition. I don't know. It was like a bunch of internet celebrities competing for something, and I don't remember what it was, but it was a like Next Up or whatever the hell it was called. And
I don't remember that at all. Where was that?
It was the biggest thing there. It was a giant stage. Look, it was nothing is what it was.
That sounds like an Ubisoft thing, because they've been doing this like
I think it was.
Lately.
And I think it was for charity, which is wonderful. God bless them. But I feel like it was a giant waste of space. I'm
going to forget this if I don't say it now. The game Duet that I talked about last week, the one where it's just like two balls that are confined to a circle and you have to like dodge stuff, and when you hit things it like splatters paint. That game was super fun, and if you go to Starbucks right now, it's their free game. They're like free game that you can play. So for your phone, if you are interested in trying that out. Anyway.
So there was that. There were 3 giant areas of League of Legends. There was a Blizzard area that was literally like Hearthstone, everyone, heroes. Hearthstone. Yeah. Which was fine by me, because Hearthstone, they announced the new basically run dungeons in Hearthstone now. Yeah.
They didn't have anything playable there though, did they, outside of just Hearthstone?
No. And they had Warcraft, the new expansion. Then that was, I'm trying to think, they had the one motorcycle game that everyone...
we lost Dodger.
They have the motorcycle game, whatever that one's called. I can't remember what it is now, where you like run obstacle courses and stuff.
Trials?
And then, yeah. And then
that's
literally
out this week for PC. It's already out otherwise. I've played I played it.
They had
It was pretty good.
Magicka. They had the Magicka Mage Awards, which was really fun. That was actually pretty
Wizard
fun.
Wars is really good. Yeah.
And then 99% of the rest of the con was indie games, which is I'm
Good.
totally okay with.
Yeah.
That's
it
why
was-
I like PAX East more than PAX Prime specifically for that reason.
because there's
Like,
more
I
indies.
just feel like there's always way more indies at PAX East.
That's literally all it was. And I met a lot of really great developers who I'd never heard of before and was like, holy shit, this game is fantastic. And I was impressed. I was impressed that there's a lot of great stuff. Indie stole the show, much more so than anything else that was there. And it doesn't matter if you brought a big evolved monster or if you had a giant statue of Handsome Jack. It was not nearly as good as actually playing a game that was fun. So
Yep, definitely don't disagree
Dodger
with that notion.
Dodger sent me a message. Her power went out.
Whoa! Fuck.
Whoa.
Well, I guess that's a decent excuse. Well, never mind. We shall just continue from here. Apologies if the frames are slightly off. I don't want to mess with them unless she's able to come back. But I have a feeling she won't be back before the break. Jeez, that sucks. Okay, well, never mind. I guess we can just talk about what we've been playing this week then, outside of that.
Jack shit.
Kinda, yeah, actually.
Well, I've been trying to play. Well, on my free time, I've been playing Master of Orion 2 again.
Now that is a game I've played to death many
Because
times.
it's always a good time.
Until you get to the end game. And
When you
then
get to the end game.
the fucking battles take forever.
Yeah. But aside from that, I've been trying to play Elder Scrolls Online. Emphasis on trying.
Yes.
Trying so hard.
Tell us about Elder Scrolls, because I watched Angry Joe's review of it today.
Oh, good.
And
Brace yourself.
Jesus Christ.
I
God.
haven't had a chance to watch Joe's review, but I got a feeling that we're going to end up saying the same things because I plan on reviewing it myself. It's not great. It's pretty much it's an average MMO in pretty much every aspect, but with the most important elements of an MMO not fucking working. I talked about this during my beta thoughts, but my biggest problem I had with it was that there is absolutely no point to grouping. Grouping with your friends and playing together is worthless. The quests themselves, even if you're on the same quest and you share it with each other, you're doing it together and you have like the same quest objective, your contributions to that quest objective don't count for each other. So everyone needs to do it. So it's like, go and kill 4 crocodiles or whatever. Everyone needs to kill 4 crocodiles.
WoW used to be like that, and it was terrible until they changed it.
Yeah, when you get into a dungeon and you're like, oh, the only way to move on is to light the 3 crystals and then the door will open. You can't all right, we'll all split up, each take a crystal, and then meet at the door. Each person needs to go to a crystal to open it for themselves. When you're fighting a boss, there'll be times where everyone kills the boss, but then you don't get any loot. You don't get to loot anything from them. If you try to stealth is also fucking worthless. There's no point to crouching down and trying to be hidden because the game was not designed around stealth. Aside from the fact that every other player out there is running around like a jackass, chopping up everything because it's frankly a better way to play because at least you're getting more loot and experience from just killing everything in sight. If you if you stealth, things will see you. You don't get that much of a bonus unless you're stealth and behind them. Then you get like a little bit of a bonus damage.
Okay.
But where I thought this would actually be useful would be like the actual grouped dungeons where you're in a dungeon, in an instance, you and your friends or whoever you're grouped with, and there's no one else. I thought, oh, maybe cool. If I stealth around here, I can use this dungeon to kind of maybe sneak around groups of enemies or do extra damage or whatever. Not the case, because the dungeons themselves are still just a straight fucking path with just hordes of enemies all staring right at you. So you can't actually like sneak around or do anything conducive to stealth.
So in other words, it is dungeons from 6 years ago.
Yes,
in every other MMO where it's just pull a pack, pull another pack.
Yes. It's like, all right, here's a pack of enemies. That's a healer. Those are 2 range guys. Those are tanks. I'm going for the healer. You guys get that. We'll see what happens at the end. So it's not interesting encounters.
You know what the worst part is, and it's really insulting, and it angers me to no end, is 2 years ago, when they had dungeons and they had packs, each single mob did something different that helped out with the overall, so even if it was a healer, if the healer saw you were attacking someone else, right, it would heal the guy. But if you went for the healer, the other characters or the other enemies would do things to protect the healer. Like it was like each engagement was another party you were fighting. That is not even the case anymore. I don't know what happened. I don't know what they did, but it's really bland.
Yeah,
really bland.
Super bland, super simplistic. They didn't even try and make interesting AI. When you get to like the actual like end bosses or mid bosses or whatever throughout the dungeon, they're all just kind of one note bosses. Like they don't have phases or different tactics depending on what they're fighting or like how much health they have left. They basically have like maybe one thing you need to watch out for, and then it's lather, rinse, repeat throughout the entire fight. So
and that's what they promised though.
Interesting.
That's what they like. I saw it. I played it. That's what they promised. They said our fights will be changing based on how you engage the enemy and how you choose to fight him. And it's not even true at all. I mean, that was just a blatant lie. And it's like, well, shit.
Maybe that's what they wanted, and they just found out they couldn't do that later on or didn't have the time for it. But yeah,
ever trust promises when it comes to MMOs. Don't, because every time an MMO comes along, they will promise the world and they will always fall short, because MMOs are the hardest genre out of anything to make, the most expensive and the most time consuming. So temper your expectations severely.
One thing I do really like about it is I actually really like its crafting system, because when you make something, you can actually personalize it. And this is something I always wanted in MMOs, is when you make something, you can also alter or change how it looks. And Elder Scrolls Online has that by getting the different racial motifs, where basically you can create different weapons and armor that's based off like the different races. So like Breton style is very old English, Eastern Europe style weaponry, whereas Nord is like much more rigid and heavy Scottish style weaponry, et cetera, et cetera. So like you can make a really cool sword and not have it look stupid, because I'm not a power player. I like looking cooler more than like having the best stats or whatever. Now,
I'm crafting in other games has up to this point been pretty bad. I've always criticized the crafting in WoW as being a production line. It's not crafting. You're a factory worker, because you mass produce the same shit over and over and over again in order to be able to somehow learn how to make better shit, which is just ludicrous. And generally, crafting in MMOs is superfluous and stupid.
It's one of the things. It's one of the things that, I mean, even WoW, which has been around forever. Every time I talk to anyone who is a developer at WoW, I'm like, why is there still crafting in your game? Because 90% of it, even the new crafting, is garbage. Like, it's a pointless endeavor.
It's always the same. Like, whenever a WoW expansion comes out, it's always like, okay, is there some kind of OP level pre-raid item that you can build that doesn't, like, cost the earth? Okay, well, the first person to get to that is going to make some money. Is there some kind of consumable that can be made, which used to be the case, shit like weapon oil and everything like that. I don't think that's even in the game anymore. Obviously, I haven't played in a while. But it used to be back when we were running AQ40, we were getting greater nature protection potions, if I recall correctly, against Cthulhu. So, we were having to craft those, and there was stuff that would go up and down in the market in that respect. But outside of that, 95% of what you could make, and probably even more than that, was useless. Completely useless.
Well, now that you can run raids without even having to have a raid party and get better loot than you could ever get crafting. So crafting in WoW is just stupid, which I think I was really excited about ESO having good crafting. And I mean, I'm glad to hear that it still does. I didn't even bother with it.
It's one of the better ones. It's not the best. I think Final Fantasy XIV actually had a really good crafting system. Even original Star Wars Galaxies I actually thought had a cool or interesting crafting system, just because like you could play doing just that. But the biggest problem with ESO's crafting is, like, even though it's better than most games, the entire MMO doesn't have any kind of auction house system.
Yeah, that is anything. Guild market, is it, or something like that?
Which basically ruins the purpose of crafting, because you don't have a mass audience that you can easily sell your products to. You're basically making it for yourself, maybe your friends, if they're not already doing it as well. And it also kind of makes money close to worthless, because there's pretty much nothing to buy in that game except for overexpensive horses, bank space, and backpack space.
Which is like vanilla WoW. If you remember back in vanilla WoW, getting a mount took effort.
Yes, it did. Holy
Level
shit.
40, a bunch of gold,
Yep. Funnily enough, I crafted the shit out of that. Like, I really did. It's just been ages getting that sorted out.
I don't know. I just wish there was so much potential, and you can definitely see what they were trying to like. They wanted it to be a game that was an MMO, but still appealed to Elder Scrolls people, and they kept going back and forth and back and forth. And there were versions of the game that were fantastic, but then somewhere along the line, someone probably complained, and they're like, "We have to appeal to these people too." And it was one of those things that you realize, even doing YouTube, you'll never make everyone happy. And I feel like they tried so hard to do that and made everyone just be like, well, this was mediocre at best.
It had to be either an MMO game or an Elder Scrolls game, and they tried to make it too much of both, and it's falling apart at its seams.
Okay.
On the other hand,
fuck, I remember. Sorry, I'm having PTSD about earning my epic mount at level 60 and about getting fucking... I skipped for the longest time the epic flyer because it was like 5,000 gold. And I was like, no, the normal flying mount is fine by me. That motherfucker moved at 60% speed. And I was like, what I would do is I'd get up to a reasonable height so I couldn't be knocked over by something with range attacks. I'd point in the vague direction of where I wanted to go, start auto run, and then leave for 10 minutes. And then come back, and I might be where I need to be. Oh my God!
When you got your first dragon from the guys in Shadow Moon, and like you went through like literally weeks of questing just to get that because it was cheaper than anything else that you could possibly get. And you're like, I'd rather spend hours doing this. Like that, it brings back memories, but also it brings back memories of like, holy shit, that was years of my life just wasted.
Yeah, that was just terrible, wasn't it? They've changed the thing around, haven't they? I can't remember. Was it the mount that was expensive and not the training, or was it the training that was expensive and not the mount?
Training is expensive now, not the mount.
Right, and it used to be the other way around. So when you could actually get mounts from quests, I think it was like the Nether Drake and the Sky Ray that you could get from the What's of Faces near Shattrath. Those were like really valuable, and you'd want to grind up to Exalted there because you'd save a shitload of money. And then they changed it around so it kind of wasn't that way. And like I said, the training was people are now saying flying modes fly with 150%. They do fucking now. They didn't at the start of TBC. They were 60% speed. They were the speed of a regular ground mount.
40% was your land mount. Like it was.
Yeah, they were fucking slow back then. Now they're 150%. And Epic Flying was a huge jump to like 280. So Epic Flyer was clearly what everybody wanted at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they used to be 60%, which was actually fucking terrible. It was really bad. Oh, man.
Which is I think it's very strange that Elder Scrolls took things back to the way our MMO RPGs were.
Oh, where mounts are really expensive? Yeah, Jared, because you could tell us about the horse situation in ESO,
here's
right?
The thing. Horses cost 17,000 gold in the game, and that's for the most basic horse. Now,
give us context to that.
To give you an idea, I've been playing since the game has come out, which was before the game came out because I had early access for pre-ordering it or whatever. So 3-4 weeks I've been playing it, and I have about 4,000 gold. The first horse that you get gives you, I believe, a 15% speed boost.
For 17,000 gold?
15%.
What?
If you want a horse that's worth a damn, that costs, I want to say, about 42,000 gold.
Shut up.
42,000 gold. So a lot of people are saying, well, if you buy the Imperial Edition, then you get a horse mount included with your extra $20, along with the Imperial race and being able to play in any race in any faction. The Imperial...
How the fuck is that okay?
The Imperial Edition horse that they give you is the basic horse that gives you a 15% speed boost.
Wait. All right, so they're saying that, I mean, all that is a gateway. All that is a money gateway to, like, if you want to explore, get around faster, you need to play more. And that, like, that's an insane, it's basically keeping people from doing things quickly to getting out of the game faster. Is what it's doing. It's making you stay in the game longer, forcing you to do that, which is such a douchebag thing to do. Like, I remember when WoW did that all the time, and it's nice to see that now they're like, no, we're not doing that anymore, because it's not it's not cool. Oh God, that's disgusting. Whatever.
The Imperial Edition nonsense is really bad. I said this before it even came out. The notion that you can sell an edition that bypasses the game rules, and I think the argument that I was making was, like, to play with your friends, basically, that may have picked different factions, you have to buy an extra $20 worth of fucking content.
Or if you pre-ordered the game, but if you want to play it now, too bad. You have to get the more expensive
It's infuriating, and apparently the
Jared,
horse is a big deal. So.
Yeah. Is this true? A guy in the chat says that the horses use stamina?
Yes. Like, if you actually, like, sprint around on your horse, it's the same way sprinting on ground. It uses up, like, your stamina bar.
Wait, why would it use up your stamina? Oh, my fuck. That's so
horse
dumb.
riding's hard, okay? You just get
so
tuckered
dumb.
out.
Then what is the fucking point of a horse then? Just get super shoes. That, like, it's no point in having a horse. Just get, like, running shoes then. Make that what you buy.
That'll be the next thing that
superfluous.
ZeniMax want to do. They'll just, like, have sponsor like Nike Airs, where you can pay $60 for in-game Nike Airs, and they somehow write some lore. It's like, a Daedric prince brought these items from the future.
That prince's name, Nike.
Indeed. And then there's
Nike
like
Adidas.
And then there's like the Daedric Prince, Michael Jordan, comes into the game, and you have to fight him, and he's got a special ability where he just like balls you in the face over and over again, like a giant flaming ball of fire. It's incredible. And then there's like a crossover with Space Jam, and it can't come on. It can't make the lore of Oblivion and Skyrim any worse. You know, it was already bullshit, right?
Guys, I'm being told it's a separate stamina bar. So
oh, thank God.
Yeah, the horse stamina.
Yeah, it's just the horse stamina. So you just spent 17,000 gold on getting an animal that has shitty stamina. So
good.
So rather than having
Great.
to run at full speed all the time for convenience. What's weird is I actually have an Imperial Edition, but I actually refuse to use the horse because, one, it's stupid and my friends don't have it and I don't want to leave them behind. And two, it's better to just run around and fight everything that comes your way just to get the 2 gold per drop plus whatever experience you can get from it. And that's another thing that bothered me. Like, everything just drops either 1 or 2 gold. Never more, never less. It's not like a varied amount or like kind of randomized. It's always 1 or 2 exactly gold. It just, so it makes everything feel very, very static. And
Charles Barkley, Shut Up and Jam, Gaiden 3, Scrolls Online. Perfect crossover.
Yeah.
I don't.
So anyway, to wrap up my how I felt about Elder Scrolls Online, I like Star Wars: The Old Republic more. Before it went free to play. Before Star Wars went free to play. I like that more.
It's pretty good now. Like, I played a bunch more of it since the free to play. It's like there's extra content, things feel pretty good, you level slightly faster. It's a better MMO. It's a more traditional MMO, but at least they didn't fuck up the traditional part of it.
Yeah, it's not like it's still a World of Warcraft clone, but
Absolutely.
I still enjoyed my time playing with it. I had more fun playing that with my friends because I could play with my friends than I am with Elder Scrolls Online.
Well, I heard the phasing is bullshit. Like, they've just taken phasing to absolute extremes, right?
Because of their mega server, and then they like instance and phase everyone into different, just whatever different phases, just so that mega server can handle it. So if you group with someone, you have them on a friends list, and you group with them, chances are you won't actually be able to see them or be in the same instance or phase as them because of mega server. So like find their floating arrow out in the world and you run out to them and you find them and all you see is an arrow and then you realize you're not in the same phase. So what you have to do is you open up your friends list and you right click it and it's like travel to player and then your guy does a little constellation cast thing. And then it travels to the same phase as your friend or group partner goes to the same phase, but it doesn't go exactly next to them. It goes to the nearest shrine waypoint thing. So you're not. You still have like
so
one.
It doesn't even get you there in the first place. That's lovely.
Can I just point out several things, especially since chat was like, "Weren't you at ZeniMax and didn't they ask you for advice on how to make this? Is your fault, Jesse?
This is Jesse's fault."
Here's the thing: I was there with like big like Umbra and like some big name guilds, and we were all there to see the game and to give them our thoughts. I guarantee none of the people that were there are playing right now, and the reason why is because they listened to nothing we had to say. And we told them, if you want to make a good MMO, this is how you make it. And everything they told us turned out not to be true, and everything we told them, they turned out not to listen to. Because one of the things they promised was that, like Jared was talking about, a big super server like this, you'll always be with your friends, you'll always be with your guild, and the reason why the way it is so you can get rid of the people that you don't want to interact with. And it sounds like it doesn't work at all. Like, that's not how it works at all. So this is, I mean, it's, I wish I could take credit for ruining something like this, but it was not me. because there's a reason I'm not playing it. I played beta and was like, this is not at all what...
I played beta and it was probably the worst starting zone of any MMO I've ever done, and I've tried a lot of starting zones in my day. It did not do anything to inspire me to play the game.
It's really sad because you could see what they wanted to make, and I don't know if it was money or if it was time, but something killed their vision, and that's really sad. Especially having seen it from the inside, it's really disappointing because you're like, I know what they wanted to do, they just didn't do it, and that's what's strange is I guess having not seen WildStar, finally playing WildStar like on the beta weekend, I'm really impressed with that game, and it blew my mind.
I mean, I don't want to play it because I'm pretty much burned out on those kind of MMOs, but what I played of it, and I played it like probably 3 or 4 different events now. I even played it back at, I played WildStar on a video in 2011 at Gamescom. And even then it was like, this has got some neat stuff going for it. I played it last PAX. I actually recorded like over an hour of footage. I never bothered actually making anything out of it. But it's, I mean, what it is good. But
it's very
MMOs iterate, man. They iterate in the craziest of ways. They evolve very slowly.
Here's the crazy thing, and I've never been so excited at PAX East, I talked to the devs about WildStar, and I'll be honest, like WildStar has always been off my radar because for the longest time, I played it a while ago, like way back when you did, like 2011. I was like, it's just Warcraft reskinned. Like and playing it again, it feels different. It feels like they combined Warcraft and Guild Wars 2 into one game, which is a little strange, but it plays faster. It plays much easier than I think both of those games combined. And the thing that blew me away is the devs were like, here's the deal. It's taken so long to get us here that we already have a year and a half of post-launch raid content ready to go. And I was like,
fucking promising.
It blew my mind. I was like,
that's almost enough for me to think, do I want to get back into an MMO again?
Right?
Just because I'm like, so what you're telling me is if I get to max level, I'll actually have something to do.
Right, and that's
because I only ever cared about the end game in MMOs. I don't care about anything else.
Yeah.
That's what we talked about. And I put them on the spot. I was like, here's the thing. I mean, like all these games that come, I was like, Star Wars, great story, crap end game. I was like, you have Elder Scrolls, they tried to be too many different things at once, right? WoW's been around forever, and people are just like, that's the fallback. I mean, how are you going to compete with all these different things? We were talking about like Final Fantasy and how, the questing was just, some of the questing stupid as hell. Like, and it's repetitive. And I was like, what are you guys going to compete? And they're like, here's my answer for everything. And the fact they didn't answer for everything, that's what I like. It wasn't bullshit answers. It was like, this is what we're doing here, and we have this much time for endgame, and we have the story. Like, if you want to play the game, the way they have it now is you set up where because I'm a big lore person, I can make my character a historian, and 25% of my XP comes
it's going to be coming from that shit. Yeah.
From like reading all the quest text and finding books and shit. Like, or if I'm an explorer, if I search for things, I get 25% of my more XP from doing that. And I was like, that's genius.
It's a good way of doing it. It's just that kind of, I can't, what do they call it? That like, they're going to call it your profession. Maybe they call it your profession. I can't remember. But yeah, you could pick like, if you pick the warrior profession, you get like more combat events and shit like that. So you get to kind of, you're still doing the same kind of stuff that you would in MMO, but you get to tailor your experience a little bit, which, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll see. I don't see me getting back into MMOs,
really need to play WildStar.
Right? It blew me.
I get to get into a beta weekend, but I've always been interested in it. I just haven't played it.
It's got character, man. It's colorful.
Yeah.
Or paths, that's what they call it, yes. It's colorful. It's got a very Guild Wars 2-esque combat system with a little bit of WoW thrown in there for good measure. It's in space. That helps,
Yeah, that does.
Not yet another generic fantasy game. That's always good.
Which is what Elder Scrolls Online is.
Yep. I guess the last thing I would talk about with Elder Scrolls before we hit the break, since it would be a bit ridiculous not to touch on it, is duping. Apparently that's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Of course it is. Well, what are they duping? What is being duped? Money or items?
It's basically items that people were able to sell. You were able to go into your guild bank and basically, without getting too technical, you could put in a stack of items, and that stack of items would show up in your guild bank, but it would still be in your inventory as well. and then you can take that stack out of the guild bank and then put it back into the guild bank, still have an inventory, and then take it back out again. So people are just duplicating stacks of items. And
wow, that's not even hard. Like, I thought it was some, like, ridiculous hack that people had figured out.
No, it's something really stupid like that. So they would take those stacks, go to whatever vendor, and just start selling it off. And people were making millions of gold within just a couple of hours. So the immediate response to this was ZeniMax turning off guild banks for a brief time while they fixed it, which makes sense. But then there's a bunch of guilds out there who can't get into their guild banks and get like the stuff that they need because of this duping glitch. And I don't know what they're doing for the people who were able to successfully do all this. I don't know if they're like taking away their gold, or if they're punishing them or anything like that. I couldn't tell you for sure. But guild banks are back online now.
Yeah. Apparently there's another more recent one as well. So
really?
People are saying, there's like another duping bug now. All sorts of things like that. God damn it, that sounds horrible.
Everyone is now sending me all the snippets from the 30-day cancellation notice article. Yeah. Like that's all I'm getting bombarded with those now. So apparently we should also mention that if you have auto renewal, you must let them know 30 days in advance before you want to cancel.
Whoa, what?
Can we talk about how shitty that is?
That's fucking dumb.
Now, when you get the game, it's $60, $15 a month, but you get 30 days free. Yeah, 30 days free. Before you can even access your 30 free days, you must put in a credit card or some kind of payment option before you're even allowed to get those 30 days. So it's not after 30 days and then like, oh, maybe I'll keep playing and then put in your card.
That's pretty common though. But if you combine that, sorry, Jared, go ahead.
So now they're saying like you have your 30 free days. You have to basically say at the beginning of your 30 free days you're going to cancel it. Otherwise, you're going to get
right. That's bullshit. Yeah. Most subscription MMOs have that same system where you have to put a card in. But what they don't do is stop you from canceling without giving 30 days notice. I mean, you can cancel WoW like that. And it just says, okay, you paid up to the end of what your payment period was, and then it's done. And that's every other MMO in existence.
Yeah. This might shine some light. This is the exact thing it says. It says, if you have subscribed for an automatic subscription renewal, you agree that Bethesda may continue charging you on an automatic recurring basis for your current subscription preferences unless you cancel your subscription at least 30 days prior to the expiration of the subscription.
That's bollocks. I cannot imagine why you would do that. What happens is, as people have pointed out, that means that most people are going to pay for 2 months even if they only do one. Which means they just grabbed an extra $15 from people for fucking nothing. Which is actually a sneaky tactic, because one, if people don't play, you just cashed an extra $15 off them. Fuck you. If you do play, chances are you're playing because you might as well, so they hook you in even further. That's a sneaky fucking thing to do. Well, I'm glad I'm not playing that game. That sounds like a waste of time. We should take a break. When we come back, we can talk a little bit more about the games we've been playing this week. We'll hopefully get Dodger back, but we can't guarantee it. And then we'll go into the news, what there is of it. You're watching the Co-optional Podcast. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-optional Podcast. We are still down a Dodger.
She says she's logging back in.
Yeah, I'll get her back into the call when I can, and no doubt have to mess around with the layouts in order to make things work. What a great start to the day. We did fix Jared's camera.
Yeah, I fixed myself a little bit.
Okay, we'll see how that goes.
It's less potato-ish, hopefully.
Yes. So, what have we been playing this week? I played a game called The Last Federation.
What is that?
So, there's a company that makes some kind of weird titles called Arkin, and they have made a number of different things that most people don't know about. They made a game called AI War that was quite successful for them, kind of had a niche market, which was a pretty cool game. It was kind of a mixture of like a 4X strategy with tower defense, and it had a co-op focus against an AI, like this malevolent space AI that actually played like and calculated like a computer would.
Interesting.
Which made everything, it was like the best way I would describe it is you were trying to win the game while simultaneously not pissing off the AI so much that it would just come and flatten you. Because it was the AI was clearly the superior force and you were the underdogs, and you had to just kind of poke the bear enough not to wake it up, but still kind of gain and, get new technology and gain control and things. Really, really cool. The rest of the games they've made haven't done so well. Things like The Valley Without Wind didn't do very well, to the point where they actually made a sequel.
I do know that game.
Yeah, they made a sequel to apologize for Valley Without Wind because it was a bit of a miss, let me put it that way, for a lot of people. And the latest game that they have, I'm just going to bring Dodger back into the call, or at least I'm going to attempt to bring her back into the call.
Jared, while he does that, I linked you the GIF.
Okay.
My apologies. If anyone when we came back saw crazy stuff in my glasses, we were talking about Tumblr and Tumblr GIFs and how Tumblr's full of perverts. And then I sent the best one.
I don't want to see that. That sounds terrible.
I didn't mean to interrupt this cool video game talk, but there's butts.
That's the best thing on the internet. Tumblr,
Wow.
you never let me down. You
Oh
never
my God.
This
This is
Dodger,
amazing.
welcome back.
Hi.
And I'm sorry to bring you back in the middle of this. It's all gone to hell.
What's happening?
Apparently, he found a
nothing.
GIF of some description, and now it's all gone to hell.
Here's what we were talking while we were on break. I was explaining. Jared and I were talking about how I made this. I made a post on Tumblr, and I was just usually giving my advice that I give, and I was like, "This is what just trying to be a nice guy." But every once in a while, I'll mouse over the people who like it and respond and stuff. And we were laughing that most of it was just pictures of porn. Like most people,
Of course, yeah.
And so we were cracking up. And then this is just something I found and thought it was the funniest shit.
He's right.
I'm
Is
gonna
it the
have
one that you linked?
Yes.
Okay, I'm having
Yes.
you link that to people. Go. Put it in chat. It is maybe the funniest gift that ever existed. It is.
Oh my
Good.
God.
It's pretty good. It's
I
butts.
don't know. It's
butts, guys.
It's butts.
It's butts. Was this? I feel like this was specifically made just so that they could splice this into the Jurassic Park scene.
So wonderful. Oh God. So yeah, we've totally destroyed the podcast now, but we're good.
Yep.
We're done.
Yes,
We're done with that.
So, back on track. So,
Hey, in editing, in post, put that in. Put the GIF in post, guys.
no,
Put it
don't.
in.
I will fire you all if you do that. You will be without jobs anymore. So, Last Federation.
Yes.
Latest
I'm,
thing
I'm interested in this game. Say
that
more
Arkan's
about it.
made. Okay, so the idea is
Okay.
you are a fucking Hydra in space. Because why the hell not? Yeah.
Like an actual Hydra.
An actual Hydra with like 6
Okay.
heads. Yep.
A Hydra that's fucking.
Yeah. No. There's actually you can't do that because you are the last of your kind. So it would be mostly just kind of self-gratification. I'm not sure how that would go. I mean, if you had
have a lot
multiple
of
heads,
Yeah. There are options there. It's all masturbation, though.
Not
so.
any less weird.
no, not really.
Anyway, go on.
It's good to have variety,
Yes,
though. You know,
hey.
Absolutely.
if you're going to commit autofellatio, you might as well have multiple
Multiple heads, because that way it's
Lots
not
of
weird.
different.
Yeah,
there's lots
it
of
feels
different
like someone
balance.
else. You know.
Yeah.
As we were saying, this is not part of the canon of this game, but he is the last of his kind because his race were basically a bunch of dicks. They got into space first out of everyone in the solar system, and then they dicked over everyone else, like shot down all their manned missions and shit to keep control. And what they didn't realize is that the other races were conspiring against them, and eventually strapped rocket boosters to a fucking moon and slammed it into their planet and killed all of them, with the exception of this one Hydra.
Sick.
This one Hydra gets captured. He waits for this race to become spaceborne and then hijacks their flagship and fucking runs off with it. Right? And as a result, you are flying around as kind of a mercenary, and you're trying to create because you don't want all this to happen again, you're trying to create this kind of federation where everyone is allied together and friendly and working towards a common goal. And you've got to do that by manipulating the various races, by helping one race, but making sure that one race doesn't get too powerful, stopping wars or starting them, upgrading your ship, researching technology, sharing technology, and like you even choose which races you want to give spacefaring technology to first. It's really interesting, and the combat is best described as a turn-based bullet hell shoot 'em up, where every time you move for 0.3 seconds of time, and then it pauses again, and then you plan your next move, and you can dodge around bullets and use special abilities, and it's special. It's a really interesting game. I don't know anything that's really all that like for Last Federation, and I've enjoyed it a lot so far. It's been pretty good.
When did this come out?
A couple of days ago.
Oh, so super recent.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, very recent.
Where is it? Just on Steam.
It's on Steam, yeah. It's one of the latest releases. So let me tell you a story about how my successful playthrough went down, because I'd lost four games before I did this one successful one. So I started off, and the race that, because you got to start with one particular race, because that's how you steal a flagship in the first place. They immediately got nuked out of existence because they pissed off everyone else and just got destroyed immediately. So I'm like, cool, my enemy is dead. Excellent, this should make things a little bit easier. So I start working on the various other races, and I start trading technology. I set up trade routes between the different factions. I slowly bring everyone into the kind of galactic sort of spacefaring forum or whatever. And the one that I leave to last is the most warlike. Yeah, so it's like, I'm not going to give them spaceflight because I don't fucking trust them, and I'm going to work on everybody else. So I got them all kind of friendly, and then I formed the Federation with 2 of the 7 remaining races. And I kept going, and I eventually built things up, and needless to say, I kind of pissed off the really warlike guys. Mostly because
I was going to say, wouldn't they just attack you? They're gonna...
Yes, but they didn't have spacefaring technology, so they couldn't. So they were like the last ones in there. And they were getting really pissy and things like that. So what I decided to do is, I'm going to steal all your technology, which really pissed them off. And then what I'm going to do is sow the seeds of discord. I'm going to piss you off to the point where you start a war with somebody else, which will then cause the Federation to have to intervene. And then I'll slowly bring everyone else into the war, crush you, and then my Federation will be complete after the genocide of only 2 races. But unfortunately, it didn't really work out the way that I'd hoped, because these warlike guys, pretty good at war, turns out. So we tried to invade their planet, and we couldn't fucking do it, because everyone on that planet is a soldier. So they had 2 billion soldiers. Like, it was this giant space North Korea, only they have really actual good equipment. And they had, like, planetary ion cannons and bunkers and everything. We had 10,000 fleets in orbit. We still couldn't fucking kill them. So I'm like, what do we do to actually beat these guys? I thought, hang on a minute. What if I made the planet completely uninhabitable for life? That sounds like a good way of uniting everyone behind a common goal. Genocide. So I fly over to there's a race of robotic CEOs. And I spoke to them, and they're basically like amoral, completely amoral. And one of the, because each race kind of acts differently politically. Like the Thraxians, which is kind of an insect race, all their politics is determined by the mood swings of their queen. So she's like the big queen, and she makes the decisions. With the CEOs, it depends on which industries are making the most money right now as to who makes the decisions. So I found one that it was either insurance or mass transport, I can't remember which, that was okay with dumping toxic waste on planets. So I paid them over and over and over again to dump toxic waste on the last remaining planet of this race, poisoning the atmosphere to the point where 2 billion people over the course of the next 6 solar months died, and I won the game. And it was
That's amazing.
And it was so effective that they just had to patch that out, because apparently,
wow,
that's really, really good. And it turns out the other races should probably find that horrifying, and they didn't. Yeah. They were totally okay with it. So.
You did it!
Like, woo, genocide! So yes, I committed genocide, and I won the game, and it was kind of cool. And there's even an observer mode where you can watch the game play out on its own without you intervening at all, and it plays out differently every time, because other races rise to power, go to war with each other, get different technologies, and all sorts of cool things like that. It's got a lot of replayability.
So you couldn't take over the planet, so instead you said, fuck it, now no one gets it.
Exactly. I made it completely uninhabitable to life. No one could live on it. It was brilliant.
That's actually, I'm reading about it now, that was actually probably the only thing you could have done, because apparently there was a bug where ground forces were just unbeatable, and so you like couldn't take over planets, and so you probably did the right, and I guess they just patched it, but apparently that's what this guy had this huge complaint. He was like, I've been trying to take over this place for forever, and it's just,
I was in a similar situation.
This game is so buggy, and I feel like you did the right thing.
I think
in
so.
the end, you did the right thing.
Yeah, I feel we would have eventually overwhelmed them. The main, I think the other way I could have done it, and I was thinking about it, was because I brought everyone into the war, including the Peltians, who are like these owl-like creatures, but turns out really good suicide bombers, incredibly good suicide bombers. So I brought, they weren't really arguing with these races at all. So I spent 5 space years convincing them that these guys were a bunch of shits. And that they
5
should go
space years.
Yeah, like it's all in solar months, so like solar years. So I had them like suicide bomb them. But I thought, I think the reason that they were staying alive is because they were keeping their bomb shelters like rebuilt, they were keeping their planetary ion cans up. If I ruined their economy to the point where everyone was destitute, they wouldn't have been able to afford the bomb shelters, and then they would have been bombed out of existence. That seemed like another way to do it. Or I could have given them the plague. Like, I could have waited for a plague to happen, and then transported the plague to their planet and used bioterrorists to kill all the children. Which would have also been a fairly effective way of taking over the planet.
Right.
Plans were sound.
See, I'm always concerned in games like that. I'm always concerned that whatever angle I take, the game won't recognize it as being legitimate.
Oh,
oh my God.
This game has a lot of different ending achievements. So basically, any angle you take, as long as your end goal is create the Federation, it's okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
A Federation based on the bones of your fallen enemies.
Fuck yeah. That's the most fucking metal Federation.
The Metal Federation.
Yeah.
Well, having played Master of Orion 2 again recently, I'm actually really interested in this game now.
Yeah.
You played what?
He played Master of Orion 2, the absolute classic.
Oh.
Yeah, this is like... It's more like playing a 4X game where you don't own a planet and you're just fucking with everyone that does. Like that's kind of the whole point of it.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's
pretty cool. I've been playing a lot of Age of Wonders 3.
That's a good game.
That game is fantastic. Yeah, I was I've had it on my desktop for weeks and just haven't had a chance to play it. And I was like, F it, I'm just gonna play. And so I started playing start the Elf campaign and got about halfway through and I was like, I get it now. I don't need to complete this. And was like, let's just play. Holy crap. Is it fun? It's a really fun game.
Very good.
I made a character. I made a sorceress. She's super sexy and has a crown.
A sorceress.
Yes, and her name is, I don't remember what her first name is, but Shadowheart, because I felt like that was a great name. But then I made her complicated because now she's super holy. It makes no sense. And so I'm doing very good. Everyone loves me except the dragon people. They don't.
I played
because I killed them.
Juggernaut.
Some 12-year-old emo kid out there is right now with his journal thinking, I came up with the name Shadowheart. Jesse Cox took it from me.
Right?
Everything is dark and gray.
Right?
Shadowy, if you will.
I should have named her Azrael Shadowheart. That sounds like the perfect emo name.
You didn't XXX Sephiroth XXX.
Yeah. Super Saiyan.
I played the Juggernaut class, which is awesome because it gets things like land ships and flame tanks and spy drones. It's kind of great.
Dude, I love it. I love all the spells you can do. Like, except they're really silly because they're awesome spells, though the minute you do anything with them, everyone's like, are you attacking me? It's like, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what this lightning bolt is, yes. Like, are you sure you want to attack me? Like, yeah, no.
The diplomacy system is a little basic. Let me put it that way in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Good, though.
It's a lot of fun.
It's really, really good. I enjoy Age of Wonders. That's pretty awesome.
Did any of you guys play the new episode of Wolf Among Us? TV, did you ever play episode 2?
No. I'm just gonna wait till they're all out now. Like I'm once bitten, twice shy now because of that first episode. They're taking like 6 months for the next one to come out. I'm like, fuck this business model. I'm just gonna wait till the end and then play it.
Like, I was really upset because episode 2 was so short.
How long was it?
Put episode 2 you could beat in like an hour.
Whoa, that's excessive.
Episode 3 I also beat in an hour. Episode 2 had lots of boobs in it. Episode 3 only had boobs in the flashback. But so like, on the last exciting episode of The Wolf Among Us, boobs happened. Yeah, it was like literally one of the first things that happened in the flashback. It was really funny. But I don't know, there's like multiple arguments for it. They're putting the episodes out faster now, so it's okay if they're short. And also there's replayability because you can make different choices, so it's okay that they're short. And also there's boobs, so it's fine if it's short because boobs. But I still feel really unsatisfied with the last 2 episodes. I don't know. The first one was so epic, like so much shit went down.
Really great ending, everything like that.
Yeah. And then the last 2, I don't know, haven't really felt like stuff's happened, but it hasn't felt quite as meaty as the first episode.
because of choices you made, or is it because of just what's happening?
Possibly.
Because I always feel like in games like that, I make the choice that gives me the shittiest version of what I could see, and it angers me. It angers me.
There's a part in the second one. I'm going to say this as vaguely as possible. There's a part in the second one where you can interrogate a kid, basically, and I made the choice of like, it's okay, little guy, you know, take your time, tell us everything. And a lot of the comments in that video were, oh man, if you really grill that kid, you get so much more out of it. And I was like, damn it. Like, I think you might be right. There was probably a lot more to it, but I'm making the choices that don't have as much of a dynamic result.
Which I think sucks. I mean, I get what they're going for. I just hate that. I hate it so much, especially in games where it gives you 4 choices and you click one and then you can go back and you can click one of the other 3. You click another and then it's like, all right, we're moving on now. It's like, no, there were still 2 other things I could have asked. Why am I moving on? Why
But at the same time, like, it's not. It's also not as satisfying if you can just choose everything, right?
Yeah, I
Then
agree.
it's like-
That's what
then
I
it's not
like. It's like
then
I
it's not a
hate
good
point and clicks because of that. Like, oh, click all the options. I like the way that Telltale does it because it's like, oh, you're on a timer and you pick your choice and you're stuck with it. And that's good. That I love that. I think that's the best way to do choice in video games. Make yourself fucking stick with it and give you the information you need, but put you on the clock for it. Make it tense. Make it like a spur of the moment thing.
That's actually something I liked that Alpha Protocol did.
Yes, that was the only good thing that Alpha
Pretty much the
Protocol
only
did.
good thing that it did. Like, the way it presented its story and the way it did the conversations was awesome. Like, I played it multiple times just because of that. Not for its gameplay.
No,
but just for the way they did the conversation
you
stuff.
could break that entire game with the pistol. It was ridiculous. Assuming that the floor even spawned half the time.
Yeah.
I think I've learned here that
it was terrible.
I'd be a horrible quick interrogator. I'd have to kidnap you and hold you hostage for a long time. I need
like,
answers.
I don't know what to do. Snap your neck. Oh, got it. Now it's over. I don't know. Moving on.
I would never. No, no. I would slowly torture you for information. Snapping your neck's far too quick.
That's what
slowly snap.
That's what you would do because you're like, I don't know. Well, I shouldn't have done the snap. I'd be like,
really fast. Yeah.
Let's have a chat. Snip off one finger and wait. Just wait. I'm not saying that makes me crazy, but if you ever said I was crazy, I'd find you and snap off your fucking fingers.
All right.
Moving on.
And TotalBiscuit would genocide an entire race of people.
Yes.
We're learning lots about each other tonight.
Who's the
They
bad
were
one? I'm just
assholes
doing it for
anyway.
business.
I also like just as a final thought on the whole, you could possibly have a dynamic game, or it could be boring because you make boring choices. I'm glad that you can have a boring game because I would hate if it was I would hate if it was kind of like Mass Effect. The problem with Mass Effect, where it's like no matter what choice you made, eventually you circle back around to this really cool thing that we decided on.
Oh yeah, it's like the Mass Effect is the whole. It starts like this, it widens, and then it just goes back
and
to
then
here.
does this.
Yeah.
I also just hate that, so I can't really be angry that I didn't get to see these things, because if I want to see them, I can just go back and try it again. And I would have been really upset if you got everything you needed to get out of it, all of the big things. You got all of the big things out of it in that first run through, because then what's the point?
I do like that aspect of it. I think you're actually correct, where if I make a choice, and even if it's a boring choice and leads me down a boring storyline, at least it leads me down a direction rather than, branch out, come back together, branch out, come back together. Because it drove me crazy when I would go one way, and then the next big story moment, I'd be like, I don't remember any of that being said to me. Why are we doing this? And it's because I made choices that weren't related to the main story. So you're probably right. I hate that you're right, but you're probably right.
So, I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the chat and why this is going on. I don't know if you were involved in it, Jesse, but why the fuck is everyone bitching about Azeroth choppers?
Oh, I have no clue. I don't even know what. Azeroth choppers they're doing Alliance versus Horde.
Yeah.
OC chopper thing.
The motorcycle thing.
Yeah. Why is everyone upset about this?
I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know.
They're doing a crossover promotional event, and suddenly that makes them fucking Hitler. What?
Guys, I don't want to spoil it for you. You might be too young to remember. I assume the people complaining about this are very young, but they did Doritos and Mountain Dew and Coke, and Blizzard has cross promoted with literally
Lots of
everything.
people,
I think I still have a can of that Mountain Dew.
Right?
Yeah.
If a motorcycle's gonna do it for you, you have picked the wrong hill to die on, my friends. This is not. It's not that big of a fight. Let it go. Let it go.
It's not very good. Of course it's not. It's OC Choppers that was never good in the first place. Like, it's network television. Of course it's bad. Who gives a shit? Like, you could not watch it. Like, do you get upset whenever? Actually, yes, you do get upset whenever we do promos because we need money. Okay.
I was gonna say. I mean, they're doing what we do. So
Dodger, tell us about Target.
Isn't Target great? I buy all my clothes at Target and everything for my home. Target, it's the place with the Target on it. And the dog.
I'm not sure what people believe they're, one, entitled to, and two, like, why does it matter? Like,
it destroys the sanctity of World of Warcraft, guys!
If anything, the one thing to complain about is the blasphemous lie that Chris Metzen is on Team Alliance.
Oh,
that's the worst. That is a lie. That is a sellout lie, Metzen. We all know you're Horde. Don't lie to everyone. So that's what you should complain about, if anything.
I'm just trying to figure out exactly why people are upset. It's like, is it taking the development staff away from important stuff? Is it siphoning off budget for something that could be? No, it's not doing any of those. What's the problem then? Oh, fucking hell.
Dodge is gone again. Boom.
God damn it.
Blizzard got to her.
Oh, you still here?
Blizzard.
It's okay.
Oh, she's still here.
All right, thank God.
Got to her.
Yep. She's been kidnapped by Azeroth choppers.
Yeah.
If anything, the thing you should be asking, you shouldn't be like, oh, whoa, just such as out. You should be saying, why are they doing it? That's what I mean, I don't understand what it's promoting. Like, maybe that's just like motorcycles?
Maybe they just wanted to.
Maybe they just wanted to do it.
Hard.
Why not? Yeah, the World of Tanks guys are recreating an entire tank. For what?
That
they're not gonna drive it down. They're not gonna drive it down the street to get people to play full of tanks. Yeah.
To be fair, there have been motorcycles in what's its face forever.
Yeah.
Warcraft?
Yeah. Warcraft had Warcraft had motorcycles.
Wait, you never saw the motorcycles?
Wrath? Yeah, it's since Wrath, wasn't
it? The license plate say Pwn, man.
Yeah, they do. Yep. There's been several of them, if I recall correctly, in the game. Because there was the one that had the sidecar that you could drive around in.
Your friends could jump in. There's an alliance.
The goblins had a car. They had a fucking car, right? That was like their racial mount.
No. I mean, for a while it was, but it's not now.
Did they change it?
In like the alpha, it was. It's only in the early goblin missions now.
Oh. What's their mount now?
I don't know. Do they have a special mount? I don't think they have a special mount.
No, they must have. Everyone does.
No. I don't think they do.
Every race has a mount that's different.
Nope.
What?
I don't think so.
Really?
I mean, I'll look it up right now.
It has been a while.
I haven't played in a year. So
the gnomes?
No, motorcycles are an engineering mount.
Oh,
yeah, it's a trike. It's a fucking trike. Yeah, it's
all right.
Yeah, it basically engineers, the profession in that, could gain the mats to build a motorcycle mount. Like, a lot of the professions had a custom mount, like the enchanter had a magic carpet they could ride around.
I've always said they should have made the goblin mount that big, like, brute-looking dude that was with them, so you rode another guy. That would have been fantastic.
Jesse wants to ride another guy.
You heard it all. Jesse wants to ride another guy.
Goblins have a personal bank in the game, right? Like, you summon a dude who's like, I'm here to get your stuff, master. So it'd be great if you just summon your mount as just another guy. And so you just jump on his shoulders and he runs you around.
That would be great. Goblin on the shoulders of another goblin.
What was the enchanter then?
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. That'd be a great, like, they should do more stuff like that, like really silly fun stuff. That's why people play anymore. It's for being with friends, playing Pokemon, which is what they have now.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you didn't know that?
Yeah,
they have pet battles.
They have pet fights in World of Warcraft.
I do remember that. I was imagining legitimate Pokemon inside of...
It's basically Pokemon. Effectively.
I imagine one goblin riding on top of another goblin with 2 Game Boy Colors and a link cable as they run around.
It's just like,
and the one's just kind of playing.
You're Charmander.
Yeah, so, okay, all right, we get it. Azeroth series, the Chopper series is pretty bad. Did anyone expect otherwise? And otherwise, does anyone fucking care? And why are you getting so angry about it?
Yeah, did you guys watch that OC Chopper show or whatever it was when it was on TV? It wasn't a very good show to begin with.
No, it wasn't.
No. What did you expect?
I don't know.
It ruins the sanctity of the OC Chopper Show.
I actually, you say that, but there was a lot of people that said a very similar thing about Heroes of the Storm, like that it ruins the lore and the sanctity of the characters.
Oh, God.
And, having Diablo ride around on a unicorn it breaks this. The lore is being ruined before my very eyes. You're destroying my child. It's like, God damn it, lighten up a little bit, please.
Everybody.
What's wrong
Heroes of the
with
Storm's
that?
not even going to matter until Blackthorn's in it.
That's
Right?
actually true.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Why the hell did they put Lily in it before Blackthorn? At
Where's
one point,
Blackthorn?
why aren't the Lost Vikings
Where are
in
the
it
Lost
yet?
Vikings?
Yep.
Why
Here's
isn't
the thing, though.
Can you buy a rock and roll racer as like a speedy thing?
You need to be able to do that, and the fact that you can't do
Lily's
that yet is
overpowered.
disgusting. Disgusting.
I hate you, fucking Lily. Lily's overpowered.
Whoa.
Look. I've never been a fan of Lily,
Whoa,
even
Jesse.
in Warcraft. She's basically Leah from Diablo, but a panda, and she's unbearable. And she is now a very, very powerful healer in Heroes of the Storm. And it's like, why would you do that? If anything, she should be one of those like random mobs on the map that you can kill for loot. And you just kill her over and over and over again. She's like, oh no, Uncle Chen, dead.
There's a monetization option if I've ever heard it. Turn all enemy mobs into Lily, just slaughter her repeatedly. $10, go.
I like it. I like
Enemy skins, I would buy it.
Yeah.
I think
Just want to point out, by the way, the lore for Blizzard games, it's been bad for a long time.
Yeah, the lore. Spoiler: the lore in Blizzard games, all three has devolved into we beat the bad guy that made our games cool. Now let's go fight either Devil, Space Devil, or Void Chaos Devil. Like that's literally what they become. Every single one of them is the exact same story now.
The evil we killed, he's back. Oh God.
Like,
They even left that open with Diablo. It's like, the Black Stone's destroyed. Well, that means everyone's coming back in Diablo 4 then. Fucking brilliant.
Literally everyone. Literally. Because if Diablo had the other soul stones inside of him, then he went into the Black Soul Stone, now everything's free again. Like, by transitive property of shitty storytelling, they can make it all come back together now. Like, they can bring everyone back. Everyone.
retcon.
God.
It's a built-in retcon.
Yeah. Dodgy, you were going to say something before we started getting angry about this.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
All I was gonna say is I've realized my place in those games in Dota and League of Legends, probably in Heroes of the Storm. I'm meant to be a healer. It's literally the only way that I can be useful in any of those games. Every time I try to learn how to do it, I just die a lot. There have been rando successful missions that I've done, but for the most part, if I'm a healer, so useful. I feel so good about myself.
Heroes of the Storm is perfect for that because you don't even have to worry about, oh shit, I'm not last hitting enough. Oh shit, I have the wrong items. Oh shit, I can't do anything else in a fight. It doesn't matter in any way. You can just be a good healer and your team wins because none of that other shit matters, which is kind of great. I actually like playing a healer in that game for that very reason. I play mostly support or tank.
Have you played Brightwing yet? I guess that's the new dragon kit.
Actually, I haven't played since the patch. I need to do that.
Has an auto heal that goes off every few seconds or however long.
That's so easy.
Like
wow, you don't even have to do anything. That's brilliant.
Like you really have to do nothing. Like you can just fly around and not worry about ever dying and just stay behind your allies and keep them alive. It's really good. You're very powerful. The healers in that game, pretty great.
Sick. Perfect for me.
Perfect for you.
You know, I've been playing a bunch more StarCraft. I'm
Really? You're back in it?
Back in it again, yeah. I did a 6-hour stream a few days ago. Just like played ladder and just kept playing ladder and just didn't stop.
Were you
What's the new
winning the
build?
whole time?
Was I what? Oh,
winning the
80%.
whole time.
I lost 2 games out of about 15. So
Okay,
yeah,
see,
I
that's
was
why
winning
you're
quite
going.
a lot. I'll probably get promoted league soon and then face people I can't beat regularly. But I don't know. It's just it's so much fun to execute strategies in that game and really do them well. And I just I'm sick of team games, and I just love playing games where the only person who is responsible for me losing was me. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. It's the same reason I like Hearthstone. Although with Hearthstone, it's like you can actually lose and it not be your fault. Because oh shit, well, he just got the best start in history and I got the worst draw ever. GG, I'm fucked. I was watching Trump's stream playing at Hearthstone, actually. He's been doing this whole free-to-play thing lately, where he starts with a fresh account with no cards, and he takes a deck to legend rank, which is like the top rank. And he recently did it with a Warlock, and I was watching him play that. And there were just games where there was no way he could have ever won. It was impossible. Like, he just, within 3 turns, you knew he was dead, and it's not due to any mistake he made. He just had a bad deck against what that other guy had, or he got bad draws, and the other guy, there was this ludicrous start. This guy went something like double Mana Worm into Sorcerer's Apprentice into double Mirror Image, which what that does, which you can pretty much do all of this in one turn, by the way, is it gives you like 2 4/3 creatures behind 4/0/2 taunts and a card that reduces the cost of all your other spells. And he's just like, well, I'm fucked. GG. I can't beat that.
Have any of you played it on iPad yet?
Yes.
I was just about to ask that.
I played it on iPad.
Does it run a little laggy for anyone
yes,
else? Yes,
even on my Air, it runs laggy. And it's like that. Well, that's the kind of fastest iPad you can get. Yeah, it does. It's like 30 FPS or less, mostly. I mean, it doesn't matter that much as a card game, but you miss that smoothness, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It does. Yeah. I was playing it last night and was like, it's a little stuttery, but whatever.
That's too bad. I was so sad because, like, the second we came back from PAX, I had a couple of days and then I left again for a wedding. And the whole time I was at the wedding, I was like, God, I wish I had an iPad so I could just like play Hearthstone this whole time. Yeah.
Meanwhile, FTL on iPad is fantastic.
Great. Yeah.
It is one of the best iPad games I have. I like the slide. I like the like engage and you just slide up.
It's very much like Energize kind of transporter thing. Yes, I like the way they did that. It's like not only did they manage to make the controls work very well in that game, but they also made it feel sci-fi. But here's the thing, like unless I have a real reason to be away from my computer, there's no point playing FTL on iPad because it's faster on PC. Like graphics-wise, it doesn't matter, but it's like the fact that they had to compress the interface so that you can't have everything open at once in that game on iPad. Like if you want your weapons up, you've got to bring up a weapons slider, which pauses the game when you do it. Mm-hmm. So FTL, you actually play slower on an iPad than you would on a PC where you've got hotkeys and everything. But they did the best job they could have, and it runs totally fine. Like if you've never played it on PC, you won't know what you're missing. So yeah, it's a brilliant iPad game.
Which, if you haven't played it on PC, you should go out and play it because it's really freaking good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, you got mods as well, you know? I've been playing Captain's Edition and just getting destroyed because it's ludicrously unfair, but it's great. So good.
Guys, I know that this is backtracking, but I was linked to warcraftmounts.com. I did not know there were so many.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
God, I'm still scrolling. Just like, when is it going to end? There's so many.
What happened was
this is the guys behind WarcraftPets.com. They used to do a site called Warcraft Pets. Apparently, there's now enough mounts for them to do a site about that too. I recognize these guys.
They're rockets.
It became a problem where
Yep.
they had to keep creating new creative mounts because it became easy to get them, and so they had to keep creating newer ones to make it so
desirable.
So people would go out and try to get those as well.
And X-53 touring rocket, I remember doing my recruit a friend thing to get that. That was the best. Like a fucking 2-seater flying mount was brilliant. I think that was actually my favorite mount. I'm pretty sure like my last character still used that mount because it was that fun.
The only mounts that I think were of any value were the ones from Nax in Wrath of the Lich King because they canceled after they closed down that raid tier, or I guess they made it easier. They deleted those 2 mounts from having
the game.
Can never get those again. So it was the
PvP mounts were the same as that as well, weren't they? Like the different kinds of nether drakes you could get.
But no one cared. They were like, but this other dragon mount has flames coming out of its butt. And it's like, yeah, but these ones, they might look stupid, but no one else can get them. Those are the rare ones. Those are the valuable ones. No one cares. It's all about looking cooler than everyone else.
That's a lot of rockets. Holy shit. They put, let's see, wow, they actually put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rocket mounts into the game, including the geosynchronous world spinner, the big love rocket. That was the Valentine's event one, wasn't it?
Yeah, sounds like a dildo.
Yeah, the depleted Kyperium rocket,
which is close to me.
That's just a bomb. That's not a mount. It's an engineering thing. There were 3 flying carpets. There were Jade Pandaren kites. Yeah. There's a disc. Wow, you could be a fucking Zenith sorcerer.
You get the disc literally for free, just doing all the lore. Get it from Lore Master or Lore Walker Cho, I think, and he's like, "Here, enjoy. Have a disc." It's like, oh, okay. No,
super cool.
And four motorcycles. There you go.
I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Are there any of these that you can't get in the game? You have to buy them?
Yes.
Yes,
there are. Like, and I fucking hate that.
The chicken's one that you have to. That's a card on the Blizzard store right now. It should show you what there are.
Yeah. Okay. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buyable mounts on the Blizzard store. They then I have a couple of exclusive mounts on my old character. The big Blizzard Bear was one of them.
Yeah.
From BlizzCon 2007.
BlizzCon?
Yeah. It was BlizzCon 2007, and it's got a little murky riding on top of it, and it wears goggles and shit. You can get a similar looking bear in game, but this one has a Murloc riding on it. So I have that one. There's a bunch of stuff from collector's editions, apparently like Tyrael's Charger, Armored Dread Raven. There were a few from Recruit a Friend, like the X-53 touring rocket that I was talking about. And then there were actually a shitload of mounts that were put in the WoW TCG, including the Riding Turtle, which is actually the same as walking speed, but you could ride it at level 1. It's this fucking adorable turtle. You want a story about a mount? The Spectral Tiger was, I believe, the first TCG mount that was brought into the game. Yep. It was right now to get on eBay. It's $700. At the time, it went over 1,000 because it was so fucking rare.
There's a chicken.
The Magic
Rooster.
Rooster.
A chicken you can ride.
Oh, and Polo Grande. Yeah, the Magic Rooster.
That is super expensive.
$230.
I wanted that so long. Here's the thing: when I played, and especially when they got to transmutations, I wanted to make like the perfect Troll Shaman. So I got all the Troll Shaman gear, and I had my bear mount, which then they made that you could get it again after they said like you can't get this again.
Oh,
they
the Zolaman one, yeah.
But for years I said, how come in Warcraft 3 trolls ride bats, but in this game all bats there's not a bat mount? It pissed me off. Now there is for $25.
Damn it!
This is your fault. Yeah, they had all sorts of things like they had a different colored raptor mount, which is actually like that's the Trollus mount, the Savage Raptor. That was one of the old school ones. Yeah, it was from War of the Elements. $85 for that one. I think I have that actually. I didn't buy that. I played WoW TCG at the time, so I got a bunch of this shit. But yeah, stuff like the Spectral Tigers are worth a huge amount these days. I think they did some kind of reprint on them at one point. There's the Model Drake. I actually think I have that too. It was in the World Breaker set, which was like just a different colored Drake. I think the first rocket they did, the X-51 Nether rocket, was one of the first like rocket mounts available. Yeah, it was in patch 2.4, so that was in the Burning Crusade. So that was way before the X-53, which was actually in Wrath and all sorts of things like that.
I like the Cloud Serpents.
They're pretty cool.
They're cool.
You would have liked Pandaria. I'm almost positive you would have enjoyed that zone and all the different things there, because the storyline and the things you could do I think was right up your alley. But that's just me.
We've done so much World of Warcraft talk. I'm surprised.
Which is weird because
it's weird.
None of us actually play it anymore.
Krender's not even here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really strange.
Right here. Wait, where's my heart? Here-ish.
So somewhere in this.
Somewhere in here. He's right in here.
But you know, I bitched at them a lot for the way that they did mounts and things like that, especially when they sold the mounts on the store. And ESO, like, they just did it right from the start. Like, it took Blizzard years to actually legitimately sell mounts in a way that actually made them a lot of money. But with them, yeah, let's deliberately jack up the price. And back then, it wasn't so relevant, but here with ESO, it seems like, paying for a mount is expensive, but if you pay $20 for the collector's edition, then you get one for free.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me because obviously there's a drastic difference in the perception of who's playing your game when you start a certain way and then you gradually build up to like selling things, because then it sneaks up on people in a way where like they feel like it's okay, you know? But when you start off that hard, just like, we need your credit card details now, and you got to pay for all this stuff, and 30-day notice, and like all this shit, it's so off-putting. Like, you didn't even let people gradually like get it. Like, it's just
let people gradually get into it. That way, like they're already invested into their game or their characters, so that they're less likely to guild quit from it or something.
Like,
because
that's
they
the
already got like
right?
ProJared telling you how to screw over gamers. Let them get into it first. Then you rape them for their money.
You guys are talking about how you would murder children, an entire race of people.
This is the internet. This is the internet. Where
Suddenly
companies
I'm
do
the bad
horrible
guy?
things every day, but EA gets worst company in the world. That's this is the internet, man.
Well, finally
EA
they
lost.
lost. Didn't they lose to Comcast actually this year?
Yes, they did.
Yep. Which is
because
great.
they're screwing over the internet.
Which again, Comcast has still not killed anybody, so that puts them several rungs above most of the companies that should have won that. But again, well, that's what happens when you get the internet to vote on shit.
Wait, did Comcast win?
Yeah,
overall?
they did. EA was very disappointed that they lost worst company in the US third year in a
knocked
row.
out at like quarterfinals or something.
EA lost really early on, yeah.
There was I think didn't they lose to Time Warner? There was the potential for Time Warner and Comcast to go head to head as worst company, which would have made it amazing because now they're the same company, which is.
Well, they're not the same company yet, but actually, like Netflix came out. I think it was either today or yesterday in opposition to that. Like, just saying, look, there's no fucking way this is going to work. Like, this is ludicrously unfair. It is going to ruin everything. And to be fair, they're probably right. Yes, it will. Like, there's not enough competition at the best of times. This would make it even fucking worse. I mean, I'm worried because it's the only connection I can get. My connection works fine, probably because I pay $300 a month for business. But God knows if it will stay fine, and even then, it's nowhere near worth $300. But at least it works most of the time, and I get, I get through to the tech support without having to wait, so that's a plus. But oh God, I hope that merger doesn't go through. I really hope it doesn't.
For all our sakes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Man, Comcast beat SeaWorld.
Wait, here's the thing.
SeaWorld has literally murdered animals and caused people to die.
Literally kills animals. You cannot possibly think that's the same Shamu, do you? It's not. It's not.
People have died as a result of SeaWorld. If you just watch Blackfish, you'll see that it's perhaps.
Blackfish is so sad, guys.
And that makes me really sad because, like, SeaWorld is great. Like, I love sea animals and creatures and shit like that. They're, like, my favorite. And going to SeaWorld is obviously a great experience. And then you realize that the company behind it is actually just fucking evil. I'm like, I feel bad for enjoying my time at SeaWorld. Fuck.
It's like if you used to love the movie Milo and Otis, so you find out so many dogs and cats died during that movie.
I want to point out the only time I think of SeaWorld is the IT Crowd episode of Sea Parks when the girl dies in her family dies in a fire at Sea Parks and he doesn't understand how that's possible. He's like, "There's no wood. There's no wood there." That's all I think about now. I'm like, it's like, how did she die? There's water everywhere. That's it. That's all I. It's an amazing episode. It's very good. It's all I'm saying. A fire at Sea Parks.
Oh man.
What else news? Do we have any news?
We'll do news after the break. We're like 4 minutes away from the break.
We've wasted so much time talking about World of Warcraft.
WoW, apparently. Which is like, what have you been playing this week? None of us played WoW, and yet we spent an hour talking about WoW.
That's how much we were talking about.
I can say that during the wedding, I played a lot of Spelunky, but I also went back to see if...
Oh my God, you got married? Congratulations.
I got married this weekend.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
And during the downtime of that wedding, I played Spelunky, but I also finally went back. The new Harvest Moon game I gave a lot of shit to on this podcast earlier, like way back. I went back, tried it again. Harvest Moon, New Beginning on 3DS. It gets a lot better as you go, because the concept of this one is that you're plopped into kind of this isolated town. Like, it's just you and like a couple other people because everybody keeps moving. So the idea of it, the hope of this one, the story of this one is that you'll revitalize the town and people will start moving back in. And when that starts to happen, the game gets really interesting because this is the first Harvest Moon game I think that I've ever played where you didn't go to somebody and have them just build you shit. You are the builder, and they push that a lot. It's not like, hey, you're a mediocre farmer. Good job. This time it's, hey, you're a mediocre farmer, but holy shit, you're really good at building stuff. We should have you do that. So you're you're working on your farm, but you're also like building houses and like making stuff, and you have to collect supplies and forage, and so much fun. It gets to be so much fun, but it takes a while to get there because you still, for the longest time, you're just in this town with like 2 old people. And they're like, aren't you a lovely young kid? We're so glad that you're in our town. Please help us so that more people don't move. And now, you know, we've got like hot mom and her kid who's an architect. And then we've got this chick who moved in who wants to be a blacksmith. I'm like, what's up with all these ladies? I can't marry you because I'm a lady and this game doesn't believe in lady on lady. But there's one dude so far that I can marry. I'm waiting for more dudes to show up because the one guy is like super emo and he's got a really bad attitude and I don't want to marry him. And I tweeted about it and this girl was like, yeah, I went all the way through and married Neil and he turns out to be a super loser. I was like, okay, not
He's
gonna marry
writing
Neil.
his journal about Lady Shadowheart XXX.
Dude, yeah, seriously, his website, XX Sephiroth XX. What, Jesse?
Nothing sounds entertaining about this game.
No, it doesn't.
There are clearly specific games made for specific people. This is not me. You're like, you build things, and you're a farmer, and you can marry people, but this guy's an emo, but there's a bunch of girls there, but you can't. I'm like, holy fuck, that sounds boring.
This
And you did all of this during your downtime at the wedding. So during the vows,
at my own wedding.
This
during
was
the
somehow
vows,
more
you're like,
boring than the wedding.
Shut up.
Before I walked in to take my vows, I was crapping real hard. But
That's funny on 2 levels.
Yep. But I figure, you know, every time I bring up a game, like, I could talk about this, and then everybody goes, no, and we move on. I always wind up getting so many tweets from people being like, no, I really wanted to hear what your opinion was on that game. No, come back, please.
Great. I'm so glad.
It's fine. You can keep talking about it.
Glad.
So I'm there for you. You weird animu kids. I feel you. I know you. We're the same.
Hold on. What does that mean?
What is
Weird
animu?
kids.
What is animu?
Means
Animu.
you love games that are in like an anime style and are super cutesy and dumb and weird.
Yeah, Animu.
God damn it.
Animu.
Well, if you're that,
All right.
It's
Do this.
It is quite specifically like a term that was sort of used to mock like wannabe otakus that attempted Japanese sounding pronunciations to words that aren't actually Japanese.
Well, now it's
So
cute.
people
Now that's
start
cute. I like that.
Yeah, it was a something awful thing, if I recall correctly.
I just want to point. I think people saw my tweet the other day. I officially become an old man where I was waiting in line to get a sandwich and I heard these kids going like, "That's so ratchet." I want to slap them in the face. Like, stop.
That's so what?
Ratchet.
Which is just
Is this a viral marketing campaign for the next Ratchet and Clank game or what?
Ratchet.
What the fuck is Ratchet?
That's so ratchet. It is a nonsense pronunciation of stuff like wretched and like it basically means like
Ratchet,
ghetto
a diva,
and nasty.
mostly from urban cities and ghettos, that has a reason to believe she is every man's eye candy. Unfortunately, she is wrong.
She is not. Yeah.
Typical signs to beware of include, but are not limited to, owning a BlackBerry. Blares anything by Drake, 2 Chainz, Nicki Minaj, Gucci Mane, Waka Flocka, Lil Wayne, T-Pain, Cali Swag... There's not an artist called Cali Swag District. I refuse to believe that this is real.
Swag District.
Oh,
you guys
God, it
heard
is a
this,
real
like-
fucking band. Oh, God, they're from Inglewood.
Let's teach me how to do it,
Inglewood's
you
not
guys,
even
right?
a real
Wait a
place.
minute.
What the fuck is this?
So like here's the thing. They're taking people that were popular years ago and being like, they're so ratchet. That makes I hate that stuff. I wanted
real thing.
These 3 girls were just going off and they kept saying ratchet every 3 seconds and I was like, I don't want to go to jail, but I will hit these women.
But I will slowly remove your fingers until I get the information that I need.
I do not. It angered me so much. I was just like, stop it. Stop it. I now get why when I was younger and we said crazy ass things, old people looked at us like, these fucking kids are going to be the end of society. It's happening. I'm seeing it.
It's happened to you.
What's worrying is it gets earlier and earlier, like every generation. It's like it used to be the 70-year-olds was like, these kids will be like, now we're like 29. It's like, these guys are fucking idiots. We're doomed.
It's the worst. It's just the worst.
God, this and early access and Cali Swag District, and
Cali
fucking
Swag
Warcraft
District
mounts.
did make Teach Me How to Dougie, by the way. That's old. That's an old.
A what?
Have you guys heard the slang term thirsty?
Yeah.
Yes, I know what this.
She's so thirsty.
That's a
That girl's so thirsty.
That girl's so thirsty.
that at least makes a certain degree of
been around
sense.
for a while.
Yeah, that makes a certain degree
makes-
of sense. You know,
Right? That makes sense.
Ratchet isn't a real thing.
makes
Someone
no
made
sense.
that up.
It
I
makes
will
no
not
sense.
accept any kind of cool slang term from any fucking kid like that until they start saying shway, because Batman Beyond has already taught us that shway is the future.
I don't know what that is.
Here's the thing.
That's so shway.
99% of slang makes sense because it's a different way of describing something, right? It makes sense. You're like, okay, I get it.
Okay.
Ratchet doesn't make any fucking sense. They're just saying shit now. It's like that old Dave Chappelle show when he was like in a meeting with white guys. He's like, zip it up and zip it out. And they're like, yup, that's right, Dave. Just making shit up to confuse people is not cool. Cut it out. I don't like it.
That's
Yes,
just
Doctor.
mac and cheese.
Jesse, I would like for you to explain where the term flossin came from.
I don't know what flossin means.
Isn't
I.e.,
that just short for flossing?
my
dental
clothes
flossing?
are flossin.
What?
I don't know. You have to
Are
explain.
they?
I don't know what that means. I've never heard of that before. I feel like you're in your own world of weirdos.
Urban
What is
Dictionary.
flossin?
No,
Flossin.
wait.
Showing off an object in which usually... Urban Dictionary doesn't even know how to fucking speak.
See, it's not a
Showing
thing.
off an object in which usually possesses, which is spelled incorrectly, great value. This is why Urban Dictionary is fucking useless. It's written
No.
by idiots. Flossing my
Maybe-
grill like a dentist. Well,
Oh, okay. No.
well,
That
well,
makes
yes,
sense.
you would,
That
wouldn't
makes
you?
sense.
I mean,
yeah, that makes sense. His grill.
well, yeah, I mean,
he's-
that would be the
he's
correct way of
polishing
doing
his
things.
Grill. Like that makes sense. Saying that my clothes are flossing is just.
Why do we need a
sense of
slang
that.
term for I have satisfactory dental hygiene?
That makes sense. It's dumb as shit, but it makes sense. At least that makes sense. Like I'm cleaning my grill like a dentist would clean my teeth, flossing, and then my clothes. The transition is.
Why do you
my
need slang
clothes
for
are
that, though?
You don't.
like-
It's dumb.
I'm
But
brushing
you know
my
what?
teeth.
You have to rhyme every once in a while in rap, and I assume a guy was
So you
like,
make up words
"I
in
drink
order to make the rhyming
Robitussin,
possible?
my
We
grill
found the
Robitussin."
conspiracy! That's why Ebonics is the way that it is. They made all this shit up to make rap easier.
It's true.
Easier?
Fact.
Yes! It's much easier to rhyme when you make up words to rhyme with.
I just
You
thought
don't even
they
need a
rhymed
real
everything with the
vocabulary. You
N-word.
make up a fake vocabulary. It's genius when you think about
best-
it.
the
This has been
best
going on for
rapper-
decades and we never understood it.
The best rappers don't use fake words. I'm just saying.
Obviously.
Fact. Because they're actually
There are also a lot of
very
terrible
literate,
rappers, so it's worth
very,
bearing that in
very
mind.
smart people who know vocabulary. And the best rappers don't make shit up. Fact. Though if I hear Kanye use Yeezy or Jeezy one more time, I'm gonna jump kick him in his dumbass face.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll try and cover what news there is, which there probably isn't much of. But you are watching the Corptional Podcast. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-Optional Podcast.
Optional.
You know, you know what's amusing? So, The Escapist accidentally used the co-optional theme in one of their videos for, I believe, a PAX cosplay roundup. I assume they used it because obviously like Miracle of Sound works for the Escapist, but they didn't realize that he wrote that for us. So the co-optional theme is in this video for no reason at all. And I'm like, guys, you realize whose this is, right? I just found it hilarious. I mean, obviously, like, it's not an issue, but it's just funny.
Does that song
Yeah.
have real lyrics? Can we write real lyrics to that song?
It's got like 5 words in it, which I
Yeah,
believe
we need
it's just
real lyrics.
co-optional over and over and again with tune in, we're talking to you, and that's it.
That's
a whole lot.
That's what
we
they're
need-
saying.
That's
Yeah.
the chorus. We need
That's
like a full legit song. It's like in
With a music video?
1984, there was
Where we
a guy
actually act
named
out what
Davey
happens?
who came to the shore of America and he did some shit and then he got Dodger and Jesse came with it and then they did this thing. It was called a podcast and shit went down and then they got another show because then it was called Co-Optional. It's a Co-Optional Podcast. That's my.
I think you pretty much nailed it. Done. Print. You got it.
Cool. All
We don't
right.
need to do
There it
anything
is.
else.
There are lyrics.
The
Brilliant.
lyrics now. You're
It's perfect.
welcome.
I mean, there's no improvement
Yeah.
to be had there. None.
Yeah. That's it.
And I think that
We
that
call him
song
One Take Jesse Cox.
meshes so well with the tune in the back.
Better than his
right?
previous nickname, 1 minute,
I
Jesse
forget.
Cox.
I forgot what the look. 1 minute is. That's being nice. About 30. 1 minute. 3 or 4 seconds, and then followed by 50 seconds of just crying.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
All right, let's talk news.
There isn't any.
Okay.
All right, see ya.
Oh, bye.
There's so little. There's
Game Boy celebrated its 25th.
a date isn't news. That's not news. It's not news if you knew it was coming. Right? That's my argument. It's like, shit, something happened. It's like, shit, something we knew was going to happen occurred. Like, no, that's not news. That's keeping a fucking calendar. Mm-hmm. Apparently, I guess this is kind of interesting considering that Capcom's kind of been in dire straits lately. Capcom is investing $78 million to create 2 R&D labs in Japan. Like, they're
R&D means research and development.
They're literally building shit. Like, actual buildings in Japan. Yeah. Where the fuck are they getting the money for this? Like, aren't they the same company that said, well, we can't afford to make Street Fighter V?
No, but it is the same company who found yet another way to re-release Resident Evil 4.
True.
It's another way to re-release Street Fighter 4.
True.
Ultra mega disturbing turbo. Yep.
Yeah, and
they added new characters like Evil Cammy.
In their in the release statement about it too, weren't they like, well, and I mean, people are making money off of phone games, so we should probably research phone games, and I guess we'll hire some developers. I guess we need those. I was like, what?
And that's why the new Breath of Fire is a phone game.
Huge buildings for just research and development? I don't understand.
Yeah, they basically said something along the lines of the popularity of social... This was actually their furthermore. They were also talking about next-gen consoles, so it's not all about phone games, thankfully, but they said, furthermore, the popularity of social games due to the widespread use of smartphones is enabling games to reach more user segments and enlarging the entire game market. To succeed in this challenging environment, Capcom has been focusing resources on strategic and growing areas under a policy of selection and concentration in order to operate with speed and flexibility, and constructing these new R&D buildings basically helps them do that, apparently. And they're going to have stuff like motion capture rooms, sound effect studios, multi-purpose space. Well, that's just a room. Most rooms are multi-purpose. That's just a room.
They needed one building.
Yeah.
Why do they need 2? One.
Apparently, they also both have seismic isolation systems so they can't be destroyed by earthquakes, which is very important.
Ooh,
good. Thank God. Thank God. When the world ends, I want Capcom to be the only fucking thing left standing. When the aliens come and they see our society and they're like, wow. That's a masterpiece. Whoever Capcom was, they certainly are a representation of this long dead society.
But if we've learned anything today, all they're going to do is make our planet uninhabitable, and then we're all going to die anyway.
I know. I'll tell you what. Right?
Specifically,
only if we're warmongering as an entire race by that point.
Which we're pretty close.
If TB leads the enemy. Let us hope that day never comes.
You gotta be honest though, like $78 million for 2 R&D buildings, that's not too bad considering the cost of video games these days. You know, KOTOR.
Yeah, that's like the cost of one video game.
Yeah, one big video game like GTA 5 or something like that. That's not too bad. You know, I'm just... Here's the thing. Capcom can be an absolute sack of knobs sometimes. They really can. Just... It's terrible. Imagine Capcom dressed in... This kind of...
I like that's
dressed in black and white...
posh Britishy version of a bag of dicks.
Yeah. Black and white, stripy outfit, yeah? They've got a big bag, but instead of a huge dollar sign on it, they're sneaking out. They've got this black mask on, and they're kind of tipping forward with this huge grin and curly mustache. But imagine that instead of a dollar sign, it's just dick butt written on the side of the bag. They could be like that sometimes. Butt. This is the same company that obviously has taken the Resident Evil franchise to God knows where, has put on-disc DLC on the fucking disc months before it came out and then charged you for it, has done a bunch of anti-consumer shit, especially on PC, but also has released some of my favorite games, you know? Mm-hmm. My favorite fighting game, they made Dead Rising, which is incredible. They published even a bunch of Clover stuff, which, again, was awesome until they kind of closed them down, but, you know, you get the idea. Capcom makes some really good games when they're not being dickheads, and there are times when they're totally reasonable. And it seems like maybe, just maybe, outside of the evil Cammy bullshit, they're maybe moving back towards that. And if they have the money to focus on R&D, then we might see some amazing Capcom games again. And Capcom has released a shitload of really good video games.
Oh, sure. We just need to all accept that we're never getting Mega Man again.
No.
Just accept it in your heart.
Well, we have Mighty Number 9 now. You don't need
That's
it.
your Mega Man.
Yep.
Don't need it. Capcom is another Japanese developer that's done crazy shit. You know, we put them on the list alongside Sega and Square Enix and all that other stuff where they do the stuff which seems highly anti-consumer in the West and maybe isn't so crazy over there. But hey, we're talking about the same company that makes Street Fighter and Devil May Cry and some of the good Resident Evils and Monster Hunter and even like some of the smaller stuff, like Phoenix Wright and Ghost Trick. You know, they make good
Dragon's
games.
Dogma was a lot of fun.
Dragon's Dogma was really good. You know, like to see another game like that on next-gen systems. Dragon's Dogma on that would be great.
Best song intro ever.
I was about to say, that's all I can think about is that intro. It's amazing. It's totally unrelated to anything in that game, and it's beautiful. It is just perfect.
They're doing Deep Down at the moment, aren't they?
Yes, that's like their big next generation project. Which
What is that?
It's going to be free to play though, isn't it?
Is that the shark one? Is that the
No, Deep Down was that we'll start off looking at a very Dark Souls Dragon's Dogma sequel kind of looking game, but then it pulls out and it's like modern day sci-fi technology is also somehow involved in this game.
It's really weird. Like it actually reminds me kind of Demon Souls. You touch magical artifacts to teleport into the distant past to explore dungeons. That's kind of Demon Souls-esque actually with the Oxstone and stuff.
Yeah.
But I heard
there's so
it would
very
be
little
free to play.
shown about this game, but
yeah, we still don't really know what's going on with it. It doesn't look like the stuff they showed lately doesn't look anywhere near as good as like the original trailer for obvious reasons. But,
of course. Isn't Ono working on this game too?
I believe he might be involved in it.
I want to say like it's one of his projects. I might be wrong about that. But I
love that man.
He's adorable.
He always has his little Blanca. Always.
Yeah. He is hoping it might be good. It could be.
Oh no. I like how that's our hope. Like here's hoping it's good. Not that it's great, not that it's genre defined. Like
isn't that basically what you feel these days?
It could go for Dragon's Dogma level of acceptable and I would be okay with it.
It could be good. Maybe. Mm-hmm. That's enough, right? That's pretty much what you're getting. It might be good. Hopefully.
I guess.
You know, I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm glad they can afford that. I'm hoping that they use it to make stuff that is good. Even strangely enough, I even hope they actually make a few mobile games. You know the reason I say that? Because everything they've put on mobile so far, unlike Square Enix, has been really fair business models. Like when they put Phoenix Wright and Ghost Trick onto iOS, really fair business models. They basically went back to shareware. First 2 chapters, free. Then pay as you go or buy the whole lot and get a discount. Totally fair way of doing business. I would love more games to do that because half the time I don't finish my games. I'd love to be able to buy half the game because I won't get the other bit. I guarantee it. And if I do get to that point, then I can pay for it. I'd save so much money that way. That would be brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd also like to not pay, $40 to $50 for a game for my phone.
Yes.
Square Enix.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, there was that kind of rhythm game RPG-esque thing that Square Enix released. That
Final
was
Fantasy Theater Rhythm?
No, not Theater Rhythm. Theater Rhythm's the one on the DS, and that's pretty good. They actually just announced a new one with like 200 songs and crazy shit like that. No, they released something else on iOS devices that was apparently really good, but you had to pay out of your ass for every single song cost a fortune. And in order to actually play this game properly, you would spend ludicrous amounts of money. I can't remember the name of it. Apparently it was a good game, but the business model was so horribly... Uh-oh. Did we lose Dodger again?
Bye, Dodger.
Okay.
Oh,
she's back.
Huh?
Yeah, sorry, your camera went off for a second there. No, it wasn't All the Bravest. I'm not talking about All the Bravest. All the Bravest was a piece of shit.
The World Ends With You?
No. That was just an RPG.
No.
Well, that was just a port of the DS, which was actually great. I mean, The World Ends With You is a good game.
Trying to find out.
It was something else that Square Enix... Oh, that's it. Yeah, Demon's Score. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so apparently this game's really good, but the business model is horrible. Absolutely horrible. It's similar to Elite Beat Agents, which was like one of the best early DS games.
I fucking love Elite Beat Agents.
Fucking brilliant game.
That game's amazing. I love that game so much.
We're the Elite Beat Agents, so we're like, your dad just died of cancer, but it's okay because we can conjure happy memories through dance. Woo! That was basically Elite Beat Agents, and it was amazing. And also save the fucking world from aliens to the tune of Jumping Jack Flash by the Rolling Stones, which is just incredible. But no,
so good.
Yeah, Demon Score. So apparently great game, lousy business model. I have no idea if it's been changed since then. I hope it has. I might go back to it and see if it has, but when it first came out, it's like, wow, it sounds amazing. It's like a rhythm action game with some RPG elements and shit like that in it. It looks really good. Yes, there was an article on Kotaku in 2012. The most diabolical aspect of Square's Demon Score is the hellish hidden cost. It's just ludicrous, the amount of money you have to spend on this in order to actually make that game playable, apparently.
Wow.
Just terrible.
I'm looking at videos of it on YouTube. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's apparently a great game, but they completely shafted people on the in-app purchases. So
this is off topic. You guys can see me, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I can't see
my God.
Shit, we should have said no.
Yeah, we all should have been like, no.
We also can't hear you.
No. Wait, what?
Yeah, it's... I'll have to go back to that and see if they fixed it. But again, it's one of those Japanese things. Like, these developers will just throw that at you. And they're okay with it, and apparently so are the Japanese. But in the West, when that happens, it's like, whoa! No way! Absolutely not. It's unacceptable. But
So
Capcom is the polar opposite of that. On phones, but is evil on consoles. So there you go.
So not to completely derail the conversation here, but someone in the chat just linked this. Apparently, Suikoden 2 got an ESRB rating for PlayStation 3.
Yep.
Which would be fucking amazing, because Suikoden 2 is such a good game.
Yep.
And they've had Suikoden 1 on the PlayStation Network for such a long time, and I actually really recommend that one too.
Wasn't
but
it
Suikoden
Suikoden 3 that had the system where, like, shit changed depending on what you did in certain playthroughs? It was very similar to the way Shining Force did it with its 3-disc system on Saturn. I'm pretty sure it did.
I don't remember. I didn't play 3, 4, or 5 much. I played 1, 2, and Tactics.
The name of it?
That was the first. The Suikoden 3 was the first one on PS2. But
Trinity Sight is the name of the system, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you have 3 heroes, and what you do for one of the heroes changes what happens on the other ones. Like,
cool.
Which sounded amazing. But I would love to play that game because it's apparently really, really great. So it's really cool that that's coming to PlayStation. I wonder if that'll come out on Vita. That would be an ideal platform for that.
Ooh, that'd be awesome on Vita.
Yeah.
Yes. When Suikoden 2 comes out on PS3, which I hope to God it does, please play it, because it's such an amazing, incredible RPG that people have just forgotten about.
Yeah.
And for all the shit that Konami's been pumping out lately, new Silent Hills, more Metal Gear, fucking whatever, why haven't they been like making new Suikoden games? Like, that's such a great series.
Probably because no one could properly say it. I used to call it Suikoden. It's just
So
like...
did I. So did I. This is the first time ever hearing it called Suikoden, ever in my life.
Suikoden.
That
Suikoden.
Suikoden.
Suikoden. Sweet Ken.
Yeah, it's a shame that, I mean, it's kind of a shame they're releasing the PS1 game instead of the 3 is on PS2. Which, like, I have tried to play PS1 classics, even on, like, Vita or some shit, but it's like, wow, 2/3 of my screen is a black bar. And, like, the UI just being, so old, and I can't handle it. I can play PS2 games still. Like, they still kind of stand the test of time, but PS1, especially if they incorporate 3D elements, is pretty difficult to deal with these days.
I played Suikoden 2 all the way through not too recently, and I still absolutely loved it. I was playing on my PS1 copy on the PS3, and I absolutely loved it. So I think it'd still work.
All right.
Throwing that out there. I highly recommend it.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's coming out. So what else have we got on the news? Not too much, really. They just released the first screenshot from the next Call of Duty game. It's a black man's face.
Good.
That's it. They just here is a face. That's it. It's
Is
just,
there
one of
a
the,
dog? Are there guns?
no dog.
Are there zombies?
It's a fairly, well, not entirely, but fairly cleanly shaven black guy who is looking very stern and military.
There you go.
And then there's
Welcome
a
to
guy
the
in the
future.
background that has a larger beard and a silly hat, and that's it. It's like, well, brilliant, thanks. Yeah. Still doesn't look as good as Crysis 3, so...
I really want them to be like, there's not going to be a new one this year.
Like,
I want that so badly. Like, look,
Sorry,
we're
guys.
gonna make a really good one. You're gonna have to wait one more year.
Now, is this going to be another Treyarch Call of Duty? I take it.
It's a Sledgehammer one.
Oh, all right.
They're alternating, right?
Yes.
There's three studios behind it now, which technically could be good because it means they're now on a 3-year development cycle per studio instead of the 2 that they were doing previously.
I suppose
that kind of helps. But yeah, it's Sledgehammer's. It's not Sledgehammer's first, but
right.
I don't know. It kind of is because they helped with Modern Warfare 3. That was like it was basically Zombie Infinity Ward, and Sledgehammer did Modern Warfare 3. Then Zombie Infinity Ward on their own did Ghosts, and it was a piece of shit. Treyarch did Black Ops 2, and it was pretty good. And now it's Sledgehammer's turn, and then we get the new Treyarch game in 2015, which will hopefully be the one that's good. So, yeah.
Oh.
That's how it's currently going with them.
Cool.
So weird to say, oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Treyarch one. Because Treyarch used to be it's the off-year, Treyarch's making one.
Can we actually change the name of the game to just the developer? Coming out this year, Treyarch 2014. Next year, it's Infinity Ward 2015, and after that,
You might as well. They're the only
2016.
games that those companies make.
Yeah.
So what difference does it make?
That's how people are now identifying the Call of Duty games. Just
Isn't
by
that
the
crazy?
developer.
Like, what are they gonna do when this eventually tapers off? Just like get rid of one company at a time?
Probably. I mean, Infinity Ward will be the first to go because they basically have no talent left anymore. They all went to Respawn. So Treyarch is still a good developer. Treyarch could make another FPS and they would be fine with it. Honestly, Sledgehammer, I don't know. There's not even enough information to judge Sledgehammer at this point. But Treyarch made other games. Like before they made Call of Duty, even while they were doing Call of Duty, before they became the main like off-year thing, they made stuff like a couple of Spider-Man games, like Web of Shadows. They made Spider-Man 3. They made Ultimate Spider-Man, which was actually a legit game, by the way. That was good.
Ultimate Spider-Man's pretty good. Spider-Man 3 was not.
Yes, Spider-Man 2. Now that was the really good one.
Spider-Man 2 is still
Ultimate Spider-Man's still pretty good. They made the Quantum of Solace game, which was meh, whatever, which wasn't as bad as Bloodstone, but they made a bunch of Tony Hawk's games for the Dreamcast. They made a game. They also made a game called Die by the Sword, which I remember from 1998. That was a long time ago. So, and they also made the Minority Report game, which wasn't so good. But no, they made they made some good stuff. It wasn't the Minority Report game. I tell you that for a fact. But yeah,
we need that. Why don't we have that yet?
So, I mean, I think of all the 3 developers, if Call of Duty went tits up, Treyarch would be in the best position to not die horribly.
Yeah.
Who knows? We could get another Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer from them. Which
What?
Oh my god. All I want.
That game was actually fairly highly rated. It was pretty good. But then again, the amount of competition in the surfing genre, not that high. So it's like there's that and California Games on Sega Mega Drive. That's it.
Let's face it, California Games was still going strong till that point.
Yep, it was legit. I played California Games on Atari Lynx, I'll have you know.
Yeah.
I was too busy trying to master Hacky Sack on
that. That was
NES.
a nightmare.
Oh man.
Fuck that
Couldn't
game.
do it. Can't do it.
So hard. Give us another Die by the Sword game. Yeah. That would be great. Yeah, so that's not really news. Again, it's a picture of a guy's face. Brilliant. Awesome. Still doesn't look as good as Psycho from Crysis 3. Try again later.
Don't worry, guys. I'm on Kotaku right now.
Oh, thank God. That's where the real news is found.
Confirmed. Call of Duty will have a guy.
Yeah, there is a guy. It will have a white guy, and there'll be a black guy in it too, and there'll probably be a Mexican guy. And
This picture has 2 guys. It's a super
there's
close
2
up
guys.
black guy, but then there's unshaven white guy in the background.
white guy. Yep, he's there too. I mean, he's a famous character in the Call of Duty franchise. I'm surprised you don't know.
I mean, black guy's pretty cool, but I always prefer like the kind of sidekick character. So I think white guy in background is gonna.
Yeah, scruffy white guy is like a legend in the Call of Duty scene.
Yeah. So when when the VGX come around, we're voting for best character of the year. Make sure you vote for scruffy white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Anyone got anything?
Something has got to have happened in the last few weeks.
There is literally no news. This is news today. Titanfall is $37 on Amazon.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Neat.
Oh, here's a shout out for everyone that's listening live. If you're not listening live, you just got fucked. But Red Orchestra 2, free on Steam, apparently forever if you get it within the next 24 hours.
All right.
So
Sick.
get that. Yeah.
Free forever.
We kind of talked about it earlier, but there is a new Ace Attorney game announced.
Yes, and it's set in the Meiji era, if I recall correctly, yeah?
Yeah, it's like late 1800s, early 1900s Japan
Yes.
replay. It's
Interesting. I didn't know about that.
Yes, so there's a new Ace Attorney game.
I wonder if that
for
means they'll
Japan.
move away from the bullshit technology contrivances that they've been throwing in lately to explain the various mechanics, because you can't do wrist computers in
Probably.
1912.
But this also allows them to further use the kind of spiritual magical
Magic
stuff
shit, yeah.
that they've had from the earlier games too. So I
Yeah,
mean,
they'll probably do that.
they'll find some contrived way to give you.
But New
super
Phoenix Wright,
investigation
that's
powers.
good.
But
New
I love the Ace Attorney
excellent.
series.
Yeah,
so I'm always
they can
excited
make
for
a
new
million
ones.
of those games, and I'll be fine with it.
I know it makes me laugh because like the creator of them hates how many there have been. He's like, let's just stop, guys. We gotta just stop.
No,
But
don't.
I love them. They're so
They're
fun.
so good. The creator who made it is back on for this one.
I know. I did hear
So that's even though he skipped out on Dual Destinies, and Dual Destinies was really good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you can make visual novels pretty much forever. Like, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to mess around too much with... Oh, yes, apparently the Red Orchestra 2 tomorrow is tomorrow. So that's the... Yeah. I guess it's not now, but it's...
The 23rd?
The 23rd? I suppose it would be the 23rd. Okay. Yeah, just keep an eye out for that one, guys. Because, you know, that'll be a nice freebie, because Red Orchestra 2 is actually a pretty good game. I think it's to promote the Rising Storm Game of the Year edition that they're doing, which is supposedly pretty good too. It's a game I actually need to get around to playing.
Man,
I don't think Ace Attorney...
Go for it. I
was just going to say, I don't think Ace Attorney counts as a visual novel.
It's got too much gameplay to be a visual novel, I guess. But there's a lot of talking in that game. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
It's very dialogue heavy still.
But, like, considering that a proper visual novel is literally just you clicking.
A book.
Yeah, it's literally a book with pictures. I feel like there's a lot more. There's so much more to Ace Attorney to call it a visual novel.
It's in that genre. I mean, what else would you call it?
Point and click. It's a little point and clicky. I guess the Edgeworth game was more point and clicky than the other ones.
that was a literal point and click game. And unfortunately, it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Which was a shame. They should maybe have another shot at that. This, sorry, guys, Earth 2066 is not news. It's a piece of shit. Everyone knows it's a piece of shit. Whatever. Like, it's yet another developer pulling a guise of the wolf. Until he starts taking down videos, then it will not be news. If he starts doing that, then it will be news. And we can have a lovely little shitstorm as per usual.
New Assassin's Creed may or may not have cooperative story mode.
Oh, yeah. 4-player co-op story mode.
Okay, good. Innovation. That's nice to see in that series, considering they barely ever
It's
do that.
reported. It's not confirmed, but it's
it
things
might.
people are talking about.
I hope that doesn't make it even easier, because the combat's already easy enough with one person. With fucking 4 people, I could just murder everybody. It's ridiculous.
To be honest, I gave up on the Assassin's Creed series. So
4 is the best in a long time. If you
I've
just
heard that.
play it as
That's
pirate.
what I'm-
Play it as pirate game. Don't play it as a
That's
Assassin's
what I'm
Creed
trying
game.
to do right now is, so they just announced, or I guess this is like big news, that Assassin's Creed is now Ubisoft's best-selling franchise, 73 million copies sold worldwide. And I want to point out their number 2 is Just Dance with 48 million. So
Yeah.
Yeah, very popular games.
But so I'm trying to look back and see what games, like, you know, what sold most. And as far as I can tell, and I've only managed to go back so far, but apparently Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, 10 million copies were sold of that.
Yep.
3 was 7 million copies. I'm looking up numbers for 2 now, but I'm really curious to see if, because then when you actually go look at the franchise, you realize there are many more games than you thought. Like, besides just 1, 2, 3, and 4, there's like tons of Assassin's Creed games, and it's almost like you can see where they sort of oversaturated the market and how people kept buying less and less, and they're like, no, you're a fucking pirate. And then people are like, oh, I'm back on board now.
Yeah.
And then the next one has nothing to do with any of the cool new changes they made.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, no, we're going back to the original. I feel like that's a horrible
If they
mistake.
just took Assassin's Creed 4 and then renamed it something pirate and just made it into its own pirate franchise, it would be doing amazing for them right now, because I would be more interested in playing that. If
Bring
it was
back Sea Dogs. You know, Sea Dogs
Yeah.
was awesome. They turned the second one into the Pirates of the Caribbean game, which actually turned out to be pretty good. Bring back that, you know? I wanted more pirate and less stabbing.
And it became, I mean, I think
High Seas Trader.
I think it's unanimously agreed most people found the pirate part way better than the actual Assassin's Creed part.
Most of us are sick of the Assassin's Creed thing because it's the same thing every time.
The fact that they want to go back is just so silly.
Which is weird, by the way, considering we just said you could make as many Ace Attorney games as you want, but it's... The difference between the two is that Ace Attorney is not that reliant on mechanics. It's just reliant on decision-making and the story. Whereas Assassin's Creed, it's an open-world game. It's going to be reliant on its fucking mechanics. And having the same mechanics over and over again in an
And it has shitty writing.
That doesn't help either. That's what makes it boring. You know, there are certain games where you can plow out as many of them as you want, and people will still enjoy them. And then there's Assassin's Creed.
I still don't understand. They literally ended the story. Like, they are just dragging it along now. Like, getting if you're a fan of the story of Assassin's Creed, which was just convoluted shit to begin with.
It jumped the shark at 2, for God's sake.
It is so beyond redemption, but they're like, let's just drag this shit out. It's like, no.
And that's why I was playing the Assassin's Creed games in the first place, because they had this brilliant concept with the first one. It's like I was so interested and I wanted to keep going. And I played 2 and I was like, oh, okay. And I played Brotherhood. I was like, hey, Brotherhood wasn't bad. And then I played Revelation. And I'm like, that was fucking stupid. And I played Assassin's Creed 3 and I'm like, this is fucking more stupid. I can't fucking do it. I'm out. Peace.
And I don't they literally could go a million directions now. I think they set themselves up for a total mistake. But at the beginning in Assassin's Creed 1, it was a cool concept. Like, oh, it's mind travel and you're going back and that's fun.
Flawed gameplay, but still kind of enjoyable.
Brilliant contrivance to avoid every possible plot hole.
I feel like the big thing that they did a disservice, it seemed like a cool idea at the time. If they would have scrapped that plot and just been like, you follow badass assassins who may or may not be related throughout history, they could literally have done 12 million more different things. Like, they have pigeonholed themselves, and now they're trying to get out of it, and they're like, oh, yeah, no, but there are other assassins because of Brotherhood, and so we can go to all these other... It's like, guys, it's too late. You fucked up your franchise. 4 was the best thing they've done in a while, and it still was like, you mean I have to go assassinate this guy? Fucking shit. I just want to be a pirate again. Like, that's what it became. And and now they're like, but... Now you're like sparking revolutions. Like, that didn't work in 3 very well. So no one really cares, man. No one cares.
Yeah.
Yeah. But pirates. Hot seller right now.
All right.
But pirates.
Pirates.
Year of the
Right?
Pirate, 2014.
Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome.
Exactly what I was going for.
Something plunder, something booty. Am I missing anything?
Yeah. More.
Gangplank, yes.
The poop deck.
Poop deck, yes.
Deck.
Oh.
Man, pirates were into asses.
Yeah. Everybody go watch Pirates.
Huh. Men were kind of into
movie.
asses.
Please do not recommend the most expensive porn ever made.
They tricked so many people.
The most expensive porn ever made.
I believe it
is.
is, right? Unless that's changed recently. Yeah, it was known very well for being the most expensive porn that's ever been made.
The way that they got that ship is they convinced people that it was a legitimate movie.
Yes,
and they were
did,
like,
yeah.
sick, have this ship.
Yeah. It had a reported budget of $1 million, which is like, I believe, the most that anyone has ever spent on a legitimate porn.
Hold on, I need to...
They sold it on HD DVD, if you could believe that, in a 3-disc set.
I remember seeing that in a store once.
Yes,
Don't ask
okay.
me what store, but yeah, they had
Okay,
those HD DVD pirates, and it was like $40 or $50 or something stupid.
Can I just point
like
out
that.
something that I think is, look, ladies and gentlemen, I need to let you know. As a man who has had HBO for quite some time, every once in a while late at night, you see like the HBO softcore pornos. There is an actor who is maybe the most fabulous male actor in any porn ever because he gets into it. It's crazy. Not like the porn scenes, but like his role.
Okay.
Evan Stone. Look this guy up. He is a genius. He is a genius. A modern day.
Oh,
genius.
and apparently he was in Pirates as Captain Edward Reynolds.
I just looked it up. I just looked up because I never heard of Pirates, and I just looked it up, and he was like I was like, oh, that dude. I've seen him on HBO. That's the guy. That guy
Isn't he the guy that's known for having like the crazy peeper? I think.
I don't know.
Can I just say and point out that today we all got to learn who Jesse's favorite male porn star is?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm saying as an actor.
This is the best quote.
In porn, he's good because most porn actors are like, I'm here to deliver your pizza. He's a legitimate actor. That's all I'm saying. He knows
Jesse's
what he's
at
doing.
home. He's like, I can't get into this. I don't believe him at all. But then this
someone
Evan
is
guy
claiming
comes on.
that the sequel to Pirates actually cost $8 million, but I'm not seeing a source for that.
What? There's a sequel?
Pirates 2? Oh, man.
Stagnati's Revenge. I don't see
Stack Nasty. Was that the name?
Wow, there's a cast list here, and half of them is nude servant girl, slave girl Anne, belly dancer, nude servant girl. There's apparently 3 of these.
Are you sure that's not the cast for Game of Thrones?
I'm not sure. It's fairly similar. Someone claimed 8 million, but I saw no evidence of that at all. The quote from the New York Times for Pirates is hilarious. A relatively high-budget story of a group of ragtag sailors who go searching for a crew of evil pirates who have a plan for world domination. Also, many of the characters in the movie have sex with one another. It's like, perfect.
This is happening.
True.
Literally, look, the minute this is done, I'm going to go on the internet and find this thing. I've never heard of this. It sounds amazing.
What? How have you never heard of these movies?
I was going to say, you're 31, male, and lonely.
That's blowing my mind.
How did you not know?
Here's the thing. Porn movies, that's like look, I don't want to spoil it for the porn. That's the thing of the past.
That is a last generation thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you can go on the internet and look up, like, literally anything. I was trying to get specific, but literally anything. Literally anything.
The dinosaurs banging cars. You can go on the internet and find dinosaurs banging cars.
The other day, some fan sent me a link to what is basically anamorphic planes having sex. Planes with boobs banging, and it's like.
That's enough internet for one day.
That's literally where we're at. A movie? That's not on my radar as a human being. So this is entirely. The fact that they spent money on it, I'm enthralled by this.
According to IMDb, $8 million budget on that one apparently is correct.
$8 million?
It's still cheaper than most Hollywood movies and probably a better plot.
It's not going to let you down, Jesse. It's a thing.
I'm so excited right now.
All I'm saying, guys, is Transformers 3.
That's an amazing actor.
You splash some cold water on yourself?
Transformers 3, $195 million budget. Pirates 2, $8 million budget.
Not nearly as good of a story.
Which one's going to make
you can get 20 Pirates movies for the cost of Transformers Dark of the Moon. Like, really, it just makes economic sense.
Can you imagine the movie that would be created, the porn movie for $195 million? That'd be the most amazing. Just think about that for a minute.
What would you spend it on?
CGI. Just so much CGI.
There's not a single porn actress in it. The whole thing is fully CG.
Bigger boobs. Just flopping everywhere. It'd be incredible.
I also want to point out, parents out there, if you're wondering why your children now are talking about Pirates the porn, it's because there's no news. There's no news. Blame the games
we got nothing
for this. It's not our fault. It's not our fault we had to talk about porno. It's the games industry's fault.
They've got nothing for us. Nothing.
Yep. It's not our fault.
We tried. We really tried.
We went on Kotaku and everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's like you're talking about scraping the bottom of the barrel.
I went on Polygon too, so there's nothing. Nothing.
Oh, man. Yeah, there really isn't. Unfortunately, there's nothing for the news at all, really. Like, the Civ games and Borderlands use Steamworks now instead of GameSpy. Okay, good. So it works. Excellent.
Great.
BlizzCon was announced 3 hours ago. Again, I mean, it's not like no one saw that coming. Increase in ticket price once again, actually, to $200 from $175.
Oh, God.
Look, that's a lot for a ticket.
I love Blizzard. I'm the biggest Blizzard fanboy. I go to every convention. I know everyone. I know, like literally everyone who works there. Even I will say 200 is too much fucking BlizzCon. $200 is too much for that convention. Not enough. Like, what are they going to throw in this time? Like, we have 4 games now, so you get 4 little cards that you can. It's not worth it, guys.
Well,
There's nothing worth it.
It's going to be. I imagine it's going to end up being kind of even worse this year because at least like with BlizzCon, they had a good amount to play this year. They had the new WoW expansion, which was great. They had Heroes of the Storm, which no one had ever got to play before that, and they had Hearthstone, which at the time almost nobody had beta access to. So it was actually worth playing. They also had the iPad beta version of that, which is something that no one could play either. So that and the WCS, which obviously was a huge StarCraft event going on, they had a good amount of stuff that year. But what on earth are they going to have? Oh, yes, they also had Reaper of Souls to play and the console version of Diablo. So they had a shitload this year. Like that's the most they've ever had at a BlizzCon that I've been to anyway.
What are they going to have this year? This coming year?
I don't know. I mean, they're not going to announce another WoW expansion.
A surprise sequel to Blackthorn. Make it
StarCraft expansion? That literally is it.
Possibly.
StarCraft and Diablo.
Oh, yeah.
By the end of the year, it's most likely that, yes, Legacy of the Void will be announced. Will they announce it there? It might be a bit late, you know. I mean,
probably Gamescom. I would assume Gamescom because that's what they did with the last one, right?
I think so. Yeah. So when was the release? It's the expansion's been out for over a year now, for StarCraft 2. So they do need to probably at least announce the thing before the end of this year, because obviously it keeps people in the game and interested in the esports scene. So that's a big deal. So there'll probably be that. You'll probably be able to play that. They'll most likely have, maybe Heroes of the Storm is out at this point. Maybe they put some new heroes in there. Maybe there's a new adventure mode for Hearthstone. But it's a difficult sell. It'll sell out completely, I can guarantee it. It's almost like they keep raising it up to the point where they're just waiting to see when people will stop paying the money for it. But
could show something for Project Titan.
Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
Maybe they just announce another like little weird game again, like Hearthstone.
Oh, you know what it's gonna be? They're gonna show a clip or something from the Warcraft movie. That's what'll get people to go there. And so they'll see the directors and they'll see
maybe
that's what it'll be. I guarantee it. That's the big draw. We'll be like, we wanted to show you this from the movie, and people will lose their shit. Yeah. I guarantee.
I'm gonna be entirely honest. Like having been to several BlizzCons, it is not worth the money that that it costs. There's not even a question about that. There are way cheaper conventions that you can go to that have a hell of a lot more to do.
That Blizzard goes to PAX.
Yeah,
Blizzard,
right?
Yeah. I mean, how much is a ticket
PAX
for PAX compared to BlizzCon? You know.
And there's other things at PAX.
Yeah.
Aside from 4 games.
Yeah, PAX, the 3-day pass to PAX is $75 to PAX East, right? Assuming you can obviously get it. So that's 3 days at PAX, which has more than you could ever possibly do in 3 days. Like, even if you play all the games on the show floor, which you'll never get to do, you still have all of the other events, all the panels to go to, all the contests to enter, all of the huge free play rooms where you just sit down with people and play board games and console games and shit.
Yeah.
And that's $75, and BlizzCon is $200, and that is really hard to justify, even as someone that likes Blizzard games. I work that event, and I still get bored there.
To go to Minecon, what are the ticket prices for Minecon? I'm trying to find them right now.
2014. I'm looking it up right now. I don't know. That's how many? Wow, $160 for Minecon. Apparently that's an estimated price, but
I'm wondering if for some reason, like the conventions that have a focused point,
right? Yeah.
Feel more exclusive, and so they charge more.
Last year it was $150 for Minecon.
Wow.
Nuts.
Which is even more ridiculous than BlizzCon, because that's only one game.
Could it be that this goes into the cost of like their musical guests and things like that? I mean, it has to be, which I don't know. Because here's the thing. Besides moving stuff back and forth between the convention center and I assume wherever warehouse they store it.
Well, I mean, the venue
they really don't.
A lot.
Yeah, but they really don't create anything new for BlizzCon. Like all the assets, like the big statues and all the wall scrolls. The stuff they've had there since like
I don't know.
2007.
Running that event costs a lot of fucking money. The sheer amount of staff involved in that, even just to run WCS, is huge. I mean, you saw the number of computers and people that they had there, and all of the stuff they had to deal with. It's an expensive event to run.
But still, $200 per person is exorbitant. Like that is
a very expensive convention.
I'm trying to figure out where the money goes to, and I don't know that I mean, I assume maybe for the first couple of years they ran it as a loss, like a thing for the fans.
I don't know. Maybe they still do. I mean, that convention center is fucking pricey, and they book out a lot of it. And all of the staff and all of the computers, I mean, they've got thousands of computers there.
Right?
It is, I imagine it's quite pricey to run that thing. And I don't know, though.
Do we know why they canceled for a year?
They do that every now and again.
There was no news. Which I feel like they should have done this year. Like, I feel like they should have done it this year. And I liked when they did it every other year. But when they started doing it every year, it became one of the years there was nothing there. And whoever went to that year kind of got screwed on content. But when it was every 2 years, like 2005, 2007, stuff like that, it's when it was like, oh shit, look at all these announcements we get at one convention.
Well, they're able to charge $200 a ticket, and
might as well do it every year.
Able to make it profitable every year, then they might as well do it every year. $200 is a lot.
It's a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's too much. It's too much, honestly.
That's me saying as a guy who really has never had to pay for BlizzCon. Right? I mean, like, fact, if I had to pay for this one, I would not go. Like, it's just too much money. It's just too much money.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Where's this one? Is this one happening in?
It's always in Anaheim. Always
Anaheim.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always at Anaheim Convention Center every time. I mean, it'll still sell out though. So at the end of the day, they can charge as much as they want, because until it starts not selling out, then they'll have to look at their price tag. But in this case, it's very much a seller's market. They know they will sell out of tickets, so they can charge whatever they please. So whatever.
Does PAX East cost the same as PAX Prime, or is one more than the other?
I think Prime's a bit pricier.
I think Prime is more because it's like the original.
Yeah.
Right.
I think although comparing PAX to that is a bit unfair, because you've got to bear in mind that there's a ton of developers paying for booth space at PAX.
Yeah.
So the money, that's a second form of income. There are certainly vendors that are paying for booth space at BlizzCon as well, but nowhere near as many. Like, most of the cost is on Blizz for that. Whereas with PAX, a lot of that cost is sunk into the devs and publishers.
Mm-hmm. So
same with E3.
Is BlizzCon, do you think what's more of like a fan event? Kind of like when
absolutely.
community days?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great experience if you want to meet people. You meet some really great people there. If you want to meet your guild, or you want to meet pro gamers, things like that, it's a great place to do it. But that's I think you pay a premium for that.
That's why it exists. People go there to meet guild members and hang out with guild. I remember when I was really playing WoW a lot, the reason why I went was not because I was like, oh shit, I want to go see what the next thing is. It was, oh my god, I can go meet the people that I've just spent the last 3 years playing with, and we're going to get super drunk and play games together. Mm-hmm. That sounds great. And that's the reason why, and it's always been that way. Always.
I don't know if I pay $200 plus the cost of the hotel, which, unless you book really, really early, getting that Hilton or the Marriott, it's pretty fucking difficult. I get my stuff there because usually I work that event, and it's hard to get otherwise. That place sells out very quickly, and the room's pretty pricey, and frankly, the hotel's not that great. So there's definitely a cost associated with that place.
I mean, that's why I actually really, really, really like the smaller conventions, because things like BlizzCon, most of the trailers, I don't know why they do this because it aggravates me. Most of the big announcements they make the week before the con actually starts, so nothing's really exciting.
Or gets leaked, or people know somehow.
And E3 is just trailers and demos that is really like,
E3
okay,
is
whatever.
not a good event. And I know people obsess about the idea of getting into E3. It is not a good event. It is a nightmare to work it. It's even a nightmare if you just want to check out games. You have to wait in line for God knows how long.
E3 is now for businesses. It's a schmoozing event. It's not a community event. It's not an event where you're gonna feel like very fulfilled if you're just a fan or part of the community.
If you're a like gamer like we are, it's a really awkward event. And what I think is funny is the only reason why a lot of like us go is one, it's like, well, I'm going to use footage or whatever for a website, or two, it's like, oh, some of the swag here is really cool. And I think I've said it before, Dodger and I had a moment where it was like, can we just get the shirt and not have to wait in line? Yeah. They're like, the line's going to cut off right here. You guys aren't going to get to play today. It's like, we don't care about playing. Can we have the cool shirt that you had?
Which, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, it's supposed to be an industry event of some description, and yet they act like it's a consumer event. And they're doing t-shirt giveaways and shit. It's like, how is that industry?
There's so much free shit that they give it away, and yet, like, the people who are actually there treat it so differently. When I was there last year, I was up in like the Namco Bandai area, and I was playing Dark Souls 2. And as I was talking about it, a group of suits came behind me, all from Bandai, and they started talking about like fiscal projections and types of profits we can get from our new hit game Dark Souls 2. You know, this game is actually making more than our toy line from fucking Digimon or whatever it was they said. And it was a very bizarre experience because I'm there.
That's a cool experience, though. Like you generally don't get to hear that side of the industry.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It was really weird because I'm there. I'm a fan of Dark Souls. I wanted to check out Dark Souls. Like, I'm there as a gamer, and behind me are suits talking about numbers and projections and stuff, and like just how they kind of saw it. Yeah, there's a weird juxtaposition in that single room.
Yeah, the weird thing about you is like you're checking it out kind of as a fan, as a gamer, but you're a member of the enthusiast press essentially. Like,
I'm still doing.
It's still your job,
yes,
but there's so many more people who are there where it clearly fucking isn't. Like, and I'm like, why are you here? What's going on?
Those people are the best, and that's why I love E3. E3 is my people watching convention because I have so many great stories. Like the one where I was in line for a game, and this girl behind me was there, and this guy in a like slick ass dude in a suit comes up and starts hitting on her hardcore. And it's like, so what are you doing here? And she's like, I made a game. He's like, oh, are you here with one of the booths? And she's like, no, I made a game. And he's like, oh, like what is it about? And he kept asking her like what she did, and she's like, I made a game. And he's like, so are you like a booth babe?
Oh my god, that's like, horrible.
This is the best. I love everything about this because
I love going to. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'll just say it's just the two worlds. One, a business world that doesn't get it and is there for the money aspect, and the other world that's like, we are hardcore game designers and this is what we live for, and they just collide, and it's a beautiful car wreck. It's wonderful.
I love seeing cosplayers at E3 because E3 is not really an event you cosplay at. I mean, those who are, that's awesome. Thank you. But the E3 is not an event where you dress up as Link or as Altair or whatever. Like it's so, again, that weird, bizarre, supposed to be industry event and yet also kind of treated consumerly.
Yeah.
So like you can see kind of people like kind of awkwardly getting pictures with them, or like kind of want to talk into like people who created Assassin's Creed or whatever. And there's kind of like, oh, you're all right, cool.
Which is I think small conventions I think are the way to go. Like most people are like, there's not cool stuff there, but I feel like there's getting more and more cool stuff at tiny conventions, and I think that's I love it. I love those.
If there's any convention nearby you and it's advertising that's going to have an indie developer area, go to it because those are going to be some of the coolest freaking games that you can possibly see.
You're getting access to that stuff is definitely very useful.
Cool. I love doing it, and you have like just talking to them, you get such a better motorcycle in the background, Dodger.
Fuck, that was the loudest motorcycle in the world.
It was an Azeroth chopper.
It was an Azeroth chopper.
It brings it around.
It is like sick. I want to point out, by the way, we are actually at time and we haven't done new releases yet, so we should probably just get around to that. Sounds like a good idea.
Yes.
There's no
releases.
I would absolutely love to tell you.
Releases April 22nd. Demon Gaze for Vita. Starlight Inception for PlayStation.
Whoa! We don't even know what that is yet. What the hell is Demon Gaze? That sounds interesting. What's going on with that?
She got floodlights in the background. The power's going to go out
Jim
again.
Sterling actually did a review of it. It is what did he say about it? It's some kind of dungeon crawl thing. Apparently, it's very, very good. Holy shit. It's some kind of really, really hard dungeon crawler game that is supposedly looks cutesy but is fucking evil.
Something worthwhile on my Vita? What?
Well, there's been plenty of worthwhile games. You got Deception 4 Blood Ties, which is fucking hilarious. Brilliant game.
Chat, you are bad. Chat, you are a horrible group of people. No, they're like Demon Gaze? No.
More like Demon Gaze.
Yeah.
Dodge, you'd be into this. This is anime bullshit. You'd love it.
Really? Anime?
Yeah, it's by a company called Katakawa, which even sounds Japanese. So
NIS published it? Okay.
Yeah, it's by NIS, so it's definitely very, very Japanese.
Animu.
It's Animu, yes.
Super
Super
weeby.
kawaii bullshit. Also, there's a guy with a glowing eye and possibly waifu in there, so there you go.
Have you guys seen Avril Lavigne's new music video?
What is this going to do with anything?
No one has.
It has
Released by NIS's mysterious record label.
You guys, you need to check that out after we're done. Okay.
All right. I will
Next game.
not do that.
Starlight Inception for PlayStation Network Vita.
Yeah, that's actually on PC as well. I backed that game a long time ago on Kickstarter. I didn't play any of the alpha because I didn't really want to touch it until it came out. So I guess today I find out whether or not I backed a stinker. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Hooray!
Yep.
Tesla Effect, a Text Murphy adventure.
Text Murphy.
Nope. Push back to May 7th.
Oh, really?
Oh.
That sucks.
Yep. I was going to play it today. Nope, not happening.
That sucks.
Well, next, Deadliest Catch is being ported to PS4.
Oh, thank God.
Octodad on PS4, finally.
That's what we needed, the killer app.
Fracked OSC for PC.
So apparently
a
some
really
kind
cool
of
game.
music puzzler thingy.
Yeah, and then once you unlock all the puzzles, you can make your own beats in the game. And they actually have it's not like a shitty beat creator. They actually have 50 different thousand things you can actually make the music. So it's pretty cool.
Interesting. Cell Damage HD for PS4, PS3 Network,
Finally,
and PlayStation Vita.
Cell Damage coming back.
I love of all games to get into HD remake.
Fucking
Cell
Damage
Damage gets it. Yeah.
Defense Technica for PlayStation 3 Network.
Pretty decent tower defense game. Nothing special.
Soul Calibur Lost Swords for PlayStation 3 Network.
Free to play Soul Calibur. Don't know much about that one, honestly. But if it's anything like the way that they did Killer Instinct, or maybe even like a Dead or Alive 5, when they kind of went free to play shareware-esque with that, then it's probably going to be alright. But if it's anything like Soul Calibur 5, it's probably fucking awful. Just saying.
I used to love the Soul Calibur games, and now they just
Then 4 happened.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least for today is The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 1 and 2 on your Vita, if you would like it.
Indeed.
April 24th, Yoshi's Island Super Mario Advance 3 for the Wii U.
Stop it, Nintendo.
Re-release the same game 50 million times with Nintendo.
Do they also have the SNES version available for download?
I believe that is it, isn't it? If I recall correctly.
Well, it's the GBA version.
They probably have that one available as well. They've just been, because they now have GBA games on there, they've just been releasing huge amounts of them, apparently. So.
Well, I know they've been doing Golden Sun and Advance Wars, and Metroid Fusion, that I get. Those were great GBA games, but why put up GBA games that are ports of Super Nintendo games when you have the Super Nintendo available on your fucking virtual console?
Get more money on the virtual console. Best place to spend $20 on a game that's more than 20 years old. It's brilliant.
Yes.
Next up, April 25th, we have Dark Souls 2 for PC.
Yep,
and
I have that. And I can't get the pad to work. Which is... let me put it this way. And I can't say too much because I'm under embargo. If you thought that they'd have, keyboard and mouse controls that would do the job... No, don't even try. You need a working...
I wonder if that will influence your review at all.
I'm not doing a video on it.
Really?
Yeah, I have no intention of doing a video on it. It's not worth the hassle. If I do anything on it, it'll just be from a purely technical aspect. But yeah, I can't get the pad to work right now, and I tried the keyboard controls. The main problem with it, again, I'm sure I can probably say this without getting Namco Bandai upset, but is that, it's a Souls game, meaning it doesn't have any tutorial of any kind, of course. So if you're trying to play with the keyboard and mouse, you've got to memorize all the different fucking keys and combinations because there's no tutorial to explain it to you. So you end up just hobbling around like a fucking idiot, and there appears to be some weird kind of mouse acceleration kind of thing going on with it. I don't know. That game is designed to be played with a pad. You've got to accept that. And since I can't get it running with a pad, I can't play it, basically. So, and yes, I'm well aware I'll probably lose out on 400,000 views. I also don't give a shit. Doesn't matter. I can't be bothered. I really can't. It's Dark Souls. I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. At least not in a video. I'd rather just play it and ignore the entire internet. Sounds like a brilliant idea. We'll go with that.
Here's a game I bet you'll want to do a review on. NES Remix 2 for the Wii U.
Hang on, NES Remix 2? Didn't they just release NES Remix 1 like a week ago?
Yeah.
Remix 1 was like a month or two ago, and they got Remix 2, but with a far better selection of games. Like, games people actually want to play. Zelda, Kirby, Dr. Mario, Mario 3. Like, actually well-known games instead of fucking Wrecking Crew, Urban Champion, and whatever was in the first one. So the first one I thought was stupid.
Pretty weird ones in there, but yeah,
I thought the first one was stupid.
The second one does seem to have a good selection. Almost all of these are good, with the exception of like Wario's Woods, which is like what? An ice hockey, but everything's like Kirby, Mario Open Golf, Metroid Punch Out, all the Super Mario games, Zelda 2, Dr. Mario Kid Icarus.
And it comes with Super Luigi Brothers, which allows you to play through the entirety of Super Mario Brothers 1, but mirrored in reverse. So you're running from right to left. Yes.
Love it.
That's just neat. So we'll see. I thought NES Remix 1 was completely stupid. Hopefully 2 is better. That's what
those are all the games up to next Tuesday.
Yeah, boys.
It's doing a lot of stuff in the industry right now. Also, I'm delighted to see that so many of you are going and watching Avril Lavigne's song Hello Kitty.
Oh my god.
No. Wait, it's called Hello Kitty?
Oh my god. It's
I'm being told there is a tutorial in Dark Souls 2. How far do you have to go into the game to find it? Because I'm not sure if I can even get to that point with the keyboard and mouse.
It's right past the beginning, the Betwixt place where you start off at. You're kind of going through a cave. There's a bunch of torches and other caves going off to
there's actual
off
tutorial.
to the side.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
those side caves are tutorials.
A tutorial.
Right. Yeah, I just kind of ran around and explored a little bit and then failed to kill anything because the controls were just awful, and then just like said, fuck this, I'm waiting for them to patch the pad. But I had an email back from the PR guys yesterday that said, oh yeah, it's supposed to work. You're using a 360 pad wired, right? And I'm like, yup. I think it was Sam said that his was working, but I think it was Force that said his wasn't. So there seems to be some issue where, like, two of us have got 360 pads that are not working with Dark Souls 2 on PC right now with our press versions. So I don't know what's going on with that. I might give it another shot with keyboard and mouse, but like everything I've seen of it so far is like, no, this doesn't work. Yeah.
Yes, Jesse? What were you saying?
I'm going to turn that off now.
We watched Avril Lavigne. God damn it.
4 seconds in, I was like, nope. I don't know if you heard me. It wasn't about what you were saying. It was, I had an audible, horrifying reaction to it. It was like, no. And then I watched to see what happened. And I don't know that I like it. So let's never talk about that again. Thanks, Dodger. Let's wrap this show up. I've got a Pirates movie to watch.
All right, we're done. Thanks for watching the Co-optional Podcast.
Pretty
Go
much.
watch Avril Lavigne's new music video. Hello Kitty.
Jesse,
It'll leave you
one
sad
last,
and confused.
Stop it.
One last thing, Jesse, that you might like. Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Complete Edition coming to PC in May.
I already bought it for PS4, though. I feel bad. I can't buy another
Buy it for
one.
PC so you can mod it.
Buy it for
God knows what kind of mods will come out for Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, if they up the graphics, it's going to be all nudie mods. You know that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Even if they don't up the graphics, it's going to be all nudie mods.
There's one, I don't remember, I think she's from Way. I don't remember what her name is. Literally, her special move is like a boob shot before she attacks. And it's like, why is this even, you know what? F it, I'm going to do it all the time.
Japan. Japan.
It's really silly.
Yep. All right, I guess that wraps us up. You've been watching the Co-optional Podcast. Do please go and check out our channels. And I suppose we can ask Jesse what he's doing this week.
This week we're gonna wrap up more Shadow Warrior. It's getting more and more Birdemic-y, and I'm not sure that I like it. And then we're gonna play Tesla Effect when that comes out, because that's gonna be a blast. And I think this weekend we're gonna wrap up with some more indie games I played at PAX and do another PAX Indie weekend. And that should probably be it. After you're done here, if you're on here, because I promised I would say something, and you're watching live right now, Clint over at MyFlame does a show immediately after this. Go watch him, because it's on Twitch and you're already here. That's all I have to say. JesseCox.com and Jesse Cox on Twitter and the Jesse Cox on Facebook. Mwah. I love you, Dodger.
Hello, I have 2 channels, youtube.com/pressstarttocontinue, where I do gaming stuff. We just finished Magical Diary, our first run of it, because everybody's demanding I do another run. Although I will say, all of the other romance options so far, I'm wondering whether or not they're going to be super sketch. But our first romance option wound up really sweet and adorable. And yeah, got news and all that stuff coming out. And then my other channel is youtube.com/dexterity-bonus, where I do a daily show where I drink coffee and talk to my cats and tell you about my day. So if that sounds interesting, come and join me on all of the social medias. I'm at DexBonus, DEXBONUS.
Cool. Jared, what do you do?
I'm ProJared on everything. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Type in ProJared, one word, you'll find me.
What's coming?
Videos, reviews. Well, what's coming? I got a whole brand new ProJared video come out this week, which I actually haven't even said this yet, but it's going to be on beat-em-up games, old obscure beat-em-up games I used to play. That's coming this week.
Sweet.
I also got a World of Tanks video coming. NES Remix 2 is coming out, so I'm going to review that one to see if it's any better than the first. So you can expect a 1-minute review of NES Remix 2 and a full review of Elder Scrolls Online. You'll probably get a good idea of my thoughts of it if you watched the first portion of the podcast today.
Sweet.
Yes.
I will be doing things as I usually do. There will be videos. I've already recorded a Mailbox. Mailbox is back, for those of you who don't know. I cancelled that show a year and a half ago. I brought it back by popular demand. We've already got the first one in. You can email mailbox@cynicalbrit.com if you want to ask a question, gaming related. We'll be doing that show on a more regular basis to fill in for the fact. Basically, it's because there's no news. Same reason. The same reason we talked about porn is the same reason Mailbox is back. There's no news, so I can't run my 5 days a week news show because there's no fucking news. So I do a Mailbox, which is basically I make up news, which is even better. So, you know, there's no real difference between doing that and what any other gaming site does. So why not? And what else is going on? I'll be making more WTFs. There'll probably be more Steam sales. I don't see why not. I will not be doing WTFs of Always Remember Me. That's not going to happen. Go and watch Dodger's channel if you want to mess around with that stupid thing. We will be involved, I believe, definitely me and Jesse. Dodger, I'm not sure if you're in on this one. The Guns of Icarus thing at the end of the month.
Yeah, I'm in it.
Yep. We're doing another Guns of Icarus promotional campaign thing.
I said I would not come back unless my crew joined me. I have Dodger, I have Markiplier, I have Cry. Captain Maximilian Valentine is back for revenge.
I think I actually might have stolen Cry. Sorry. I don't think... I'm pretty sure you don't get him anymore.
Nope.
Oh, no, never mind. I get Kryken, the better Cry.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. Not a problem. Yeah, I get Kryken. I'm a Kryken Peanut Butter Gamer
we promised our crew.
And Angry Joe.
Crew.
I've got Angry Joe. So we're going to try hard the shit out of you. It's going to be brilliant. And then people are going to get very, very upset.
Good luck. Good luck. We get to design our own ships. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're going to do the whole ship design thing. It's going to be great. We're going to metagame the hell out of you. Yeah, so there'll be another Guns of Icarus campaign towards the end of the month. There'll be a little bit of content on our channels. Then most of it will be on Polaris. It's basically another Rumble Zone. So hopefully that should be fun to watch, considering the last one was a hell of a lot of fun to watch. So hopefully that should be good. Outside of that, I'll be doing a little bit more Hearthstone gimmick stuff as usual. Just doing a couple of decks. I've got a new one which is focused on hunter traps and the bullshit surrounding them. That should be fun to watch, hopefully. And I think that pretty much wraps it up, with the exception of there's more Clan Wars coming out this week, and I'll probably be streaming more StarCraft 2. Simple as that. And I don't.
So simple.
Yep, simple as that. I don't think there's anything else.
Good time.
Pretty sure that covers everything. Yes, probably. Yeah, think so. Cool.
Sounds good. Yeah.
You've been watching the Co-optional Podcast. Thank you for watching us. Please do follow us. Below is where our names are. And please go and subscribe if you have not already. Go and check out the new Co-optional Animated that just came out. It's maybe
I didn't see
the first one that I actually have a significant part in. So that's brilliant, which means it involves a lot of swearing. And it's awesome. And there is a horse. And it's brilliant. Thank you very much for watching, folks. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Movie to
Bye, everyone.